Fighting games are not real. None of it's real.
Fighting games are fake and gay.
You heard it here last.
Okay, so first things first. I forget if we talked about this. I feel like we talked about this last time, but Katsuhiro Harada is with SNK.
I don't think we talked about him going to SNK, but we did talk about him leaving Bamco.
Okay. So yes, Katsuhiro Harada started a new studio at SNK called Versus Studio. On one hand, it's SNK in current year. On the other hand, the name implies we're giving more money to Harada so he can make Mugen like he wants to. On the third mutated hand, he's getting fired before that thing comes out. Like, if they're giving him money to make Mugen, then he is getting fired before Mugen comes out. That's 100% sure. Like, I don't see him actually licensing out like all of the big name fighting games. Like, even if it's just like, I don't know, 5 characters of each. I don't see him being able to get all of the IP rights and get the game made under like a reasonable budget.
Well, quick question. I thought I heard this wasn't actually SNK. It was some other company that was, still, had the acronym of SNK, but not the game publisher we're used to that handles KOF.
From what I understand, Versus Studio is a subsidiary of the SNK that we know. It's Shinhyon. I wanted to call it Shinhyon Keikaku, but that's incorrect. It's Shinhyon something or other.
New Japan Plan.
Yeah. Let me see. What the fuck is this an acronym for? Shinhyon Kikaku. I was close.
Oh my god.
It's not Keikaku. It's not plan. It's Kikaku. It's project.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, yes, allegedly, at least from what I heard, Versus Studio is a subsidiary of SNK, the SNK that we know, and
well,
yeah.
Wikipedia says that it's a part of the SNK that we know, and Wikipedia is never wrong.
Yep. Now it's gonna be an interesting thing to see exactly what's up with all that. I mean, the one that I'm most interested in, that people were floating around when this was announced, is, well, Harada has a history of making 3D fighting games. So what if Maximum Impact 3? Yeah, like imagine if Harada joins SNK and makes a Maximum Impact that like the general public like.
Oh boy. I mean, the first 2 Maximum Impact games are by now so forgotten for everyone who isn't a KOF super fan that I don't think you'd come in with a negative reputation. I mean, obviously you'd change the name. There'd be no point in keeping the name.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it would be funny for them to keep it Maximum Impact for consistency's sake.
It'd be funny, but only largely because the first 2 games weren't very well received here in the West.
Yeah.
Well received. That's the proper word, dumbass.
So yeah, but aside from that, like, who the hell knows what's all this about? Like, projects wise, what's down the pipeline and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something, I suppose.
Yeah. It's good to hear that Harada's getting work, particularly as he's been kind of just been put on the back burner by Bamco for a long time now.
Yes, allegedly he shouted out that that's one of the reasons that he left Bamco.
It's because he wants to take a more active role again, and Bamco wasn't letting him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He
Back in the saddle.
Yeah, he said he wanted to be a part of the team again and stuff like that, and they wouldn't let him.
Well, no, obviously, then he might actually make a good game, and we can't be doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually seeing the additional details. So apparently Harada mentioned that the game they're working on is a new IP for SNK.
Okay.
And also he's joined by uh one of the OG Tekken devs, Yuichi Yonemori. So
Okay.
listen to this. Project director of Tekken 7, game director of Tek 2, game director of Cross Tekken, uh, game director of Tekken 6, 5, Dark Resurrection, project director for 4, project director for Tekken Tech Tournament, the first one, and I worked on tuning for Soul Calibur, the OG one.
Okay, there's a few stinkers in that lineup, but for the most part, that's a pretty good history.
Yeah. I mean, this guy seems to have been there for the good times and the bad times. So
Yeah, yeah. I was honestly expecting you to just keep going and go like, yeah, Tekken 3 also, by the way.
yeah, I mean that would be fucking news. Or it's just like, okay, get the guy who made the original Tekkens in here. We're rebuilding
I
everything brick by brick.
yeah yeah we're gonna get a hot new series from SNK, Ketten
Yeah.
and Ketten Tag Tournament.
We're gonna get a new hot fighting game from SNK. It's gonna be a successor to Bloody Roar. It's gonna be called Kitten.
Man, I just realized something.
Yeah.
You remember when they announced Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Tekken Cross Street Fighter? And Street Fighter Cross Tekken comes around, and they have Ono and Harada's faces printed all over like half the fucking stages, which I'm exaggerating here. It was one stage, but nonetheless, they're all like, "Look, it's Ono and Harada, the ultimate team." Can't wait to see how they handle Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the guys we got over Street Fighter now, it's like, yeah, I would infinitely trust those guys more with Street Fighter, Tekken Cross Street Fighter now than I did with Ono. Conversely, I don't want to see what the guys that make Tekken 8 want to do with Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Even though I think we all now operate by the understanding that Tekken Cross Street Fighter simply isn't going to come because Tekken 8. Tekken 7 made so much money. Tekken 8 didn't make so much money, but it could potentially make money, so Bamco's just not going to do Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Tekken Cross Street Fighter is not happening because the only person pushing for it was Harada. So
yeah.
Like I think him coming out and saying, "Oh, it's just an ice, but we're gonna do it." I don't think that was him lying. I think that was him going, "This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring it back. I'm gonna tell everyone that it's still going, so that they can text it."
Yeah. But without Harada, I'm kind of glad we're not getting it.
Yeah. I mean, even with Harada, with the way that they kept him on a short leash at the end there, like it would have been shit anyway.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Recently an interview came out about Tokon, saying that it was almost a 1v1 fighter, which would line up with the leaks that we had a while back.
Yes, and that game, when you watch people play it, it looks like a 1v1 fighter that happens to have assists, like Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
And you're seeing people throw out tags a little bit more often now. They've made them a little bit more viable, but it's still a game that feels like it was a 1v1 fighter first and foremost. Right down to the fact that, of course, you're playing a character, your team only has one health bar.
Yeah, but you also gotta wonder what exactly brought on this change, because obviously there's gonna be the PR speak that they say for this, but you gotta wonder what the actual reasoning is, because the leak said that there's a 1v1 fighter being developed by Arxis. I think they shout out just straight up, and there's also Marvel 4 in development. So does this mean that Marvel 4 is cancelled? Probably, but
That Marvel, yeah, that Marvel 4 thing was so weird. Either which way, the idea of getting Marvel 4 at the same time as Tokon was a very strange idea to begin with. On top of that, Marvel vs. Capcom 4 coming from a Capcom that is today very burnt on the idea of doing any fighting game that isn't Street Fighter, you know?
yeah. I mean, like the
Because
question.
even Marvel
Yeah.
vs. Capcom, we think of it as being a big, hot superstar game because it's got such big names. But like the truth be told, Marvel vs. Capcom has historically never sold very well.
I mean, obviously for my part, like I'm just really wondering about all that because, uh, in that same league there was also CVS3, and
This might have also been, I mean, for one thing, of course, with any leak, it can always just be faked. But also,
yes,
this might have been the sort of leak where it's like, this is stuff in pre-planning, pre-pre-planning, pre-pre-pre-pre-planning.
yeah,
Just a corporate guy shot it across the board to another corporate guy, sort of things. And though that stuff usually don't work out.
yeah.
Ah, all right. So, what else are we thinking?
Let's see what other news there are. Azula was teased for the Avatar fighting game.
No. Was she teased? I've seen several clips of her gameplay.
Okay, then I guess the one I'm seeing right now is a teaser, but they probably showed her off since then.
Okay, because Azula has they have shown quite a bit of Azula. It looks like so she has standard Azula and she can switch to like Psycho Azula where her hair comes down.
Yeah,
They've shown a few clips of her. She looks like a combo monster, which is not a shock. I mean, last Airbender game has already looked like a combo mania sort of game, but she looks
yeah,
like a combo monster. And there is a unique character matchup based mechanic. So she, of course, has lightning moves because that's part of Azula's whole thing is that she's the great lightning bender, yada yada yada, whatever. Ong and Zuko, though, being the two other firebenders on the roster, or at least they haven't said whether or not Korra can do this, can deflect the lightning.
oh,
And Zuko, if he deflects Azula's lightning, will deflect it back at her.
nice.
But Ong will instead just deflect it straight up back in the air because he doesn't want to use it.
Yeah,
He thinks it's nasty, so he just throws it back up in the air. It's a neat bit of attention to detail.
yeah.
By the way, can I just say, I think this is something you'll probably agree with me here. I appreciate the last Airbender game is more or less just outright saying, you know what? Fighting games have been very focused around balancing around competitive for a long time now. We're just going to be upfront about the fact that we're designing this game to be more
Fun. Yeah,
emphasizing fan service and plot than actual character balance. So we're going to give some characters just some unique counter tools that only exist because in the plot of the show they did.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
good.
mean, I feel like there's space for competitive balancing and there's space for lore based balancing. I feel like there's a middle ground where you can get a bit of both and have it be
Yeah,
fine. But like, yes, because competitive balancing eventually turns into esports balancing, and esports balancing ruins games. So
yeah.
so
That game continues to look interesting.
yeah, I mean my one big gripe with it right now, heading into its release is just it looks like Blaze Blue. And I fear that because like Blaze Blue is a cool game that I don't want to play because it feels weird, you know.
Yeah.
And like I feel like it's just gonna be the new generation's Blaze Blue, which like good for the people who love Blaze Blue, but I ain't one of them.
Yeah. Hang on
Then
just a
yeah,
second. This is going to be a gag exclusively for you. It's not going to come across in the video. Nonetheless, ha!
ah, Nice. So for the listening audience, if you're watching, why? It's a static image. But for listening audience, we just started Blaze Blue. All of them at the same time.
All 4 at the same time. I got 4 separate monitors. I got 4 separate fight sticks.
Yeah.
I had to spend so much money to make this gag work. You don't know.
So, Street Fighter 6 is adding Avatar Arcade and Avatar Random Match.
Yes! I saw Maximilian Dude speculating that he thinks Avatar is probably making an absurd amount of money that we have no idea how much.
Yes. This is not
because of just how many Avatar cosmetics keep coming out and how many new features they keep adding for Avatar battles.
Yes, there is definitely a market for people who are like strictly Avatar players. And I don't understand them, not because there's an entire roster of characters who are designed to be appealing and shit like that. Because you'll want to make your Blorbo, and you'll want to give your Blorbo fucking Shoryuken and SPD and Ashura Senku and Geese Berries and shit like that. Sure. The thing that I don't understand is that Avatar movesets feel gimped. Like if you've ever played the actual characters that you're copying the moves from. If you're trying to copy the moves 1-to-1, I'll add that. But if you're doing that, then obviously the movesets are designed around having the full moveset. And the way avatars are designed, the way that you can equip the moves on them, means that you cannot have one full moveset for any character.
Now, you are assuming that they are actually designing the characters to have a cohesive feeling and not just simply to go for whatever most OP moves they can get.
True.
We're talking about a community that I have a strong suspicion does a lot of the gameplay as Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Pile Driver.
See, I thought... I'm forgetting the name of that place, whatever. I thought you were gonna say that a lot of the player base's gameplay is just doing the fucking naked Dark Elf ERP under the Dwarf City from WoW. Did you never run across that?
No, I've not. I have never come across the naked Dark Elf in a Dwarf City roleplay. No.
No. It's not. It's not a specific roleplay. There's a Dwarf City with a metro in it, which with actual tunnels and shit. And this is something that I've come across in WoW when I played WoW 50 years ago, and it is something that apparently is just universal because I've also heard other people from over there reference it. But there's always at least one pair of Dark Elf players who have taken off all of their clothes and are ERPing in the tunnels.
Oh, okay. Dude, is this famously is there anything sexual about this tunnel, or is it just yearns?
There's nothing sexual about the tunnel. I think it's just it's the same idea as fucking getting a quickie in somewhere where people are walking around. Of no one will come here to the end of the tunnel between the loading zones, so we can just do this.
It's not an area of the map that people actually really populate.
No, because so you have the actual tram station where the tram you can board the trams to leave using the metro, and the tunnel goes on for a bit longer, and it doesn't go on long enough that you can hide behind corners and shit that much, but it goes on long enough, I guess, that these people are okay, yeah, cool. No one will see us doing ERP here.
I see. People are strange. It's definitely a. You know what? I got nothing. Next bit.
Okay. So, Street Fighter released a trailer for the little alien that Ingrid can tag in.
Oh, yes. I have not seen this because I'm kind of trying to stay away from Ingrid news because I figure, it'll be funnier if when we're actually playing, I can go, oh, Ingrid is stinky with live reactions rather than just going, "Oh, Ingrid is stinky," but I know all of her moves already.
Yeah. Well, the surprising bit here is that when they showed the little alien off, I figured, oh, well, they showed off that it has a one-hit kill move, so that's probably all it will have. No,
Ah,
no full move set, more or less.
I see.
And I guess we'll leave it at that. You'll see you'll see the horrors in 3 days as of recording.
Oh, 3 days. It's only 3. Oh, yep. It is the end of May, son of a bitch. So then, when is Jeff Keighley's summer game dealie?
Start of June, I think.
I'll look it up. Jeff Keighley Summer Game Fest 2026. I don't have to look up Jeff Keighley, come to think of it. June 5th.
All right.
So, yes, we're probably going to be seeing the announcement of what the Season 4 roster is going to look like then.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will another FGA land before that? Oh, no. Okay, the next FGA is going to be on June 8th. So we're actually going to be post Summer Games Fest there. So I suppose that by the end of this FGA, we'll have to hit the eternal topic of who do you want?
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, what's going to change because you and me are both minus an answer now.
Yes.
Because I got Alex and you got Ingrid.
Yes. I mean, the thing with Ingrid too is that like Ingrid was Ingrid was was a not a dark horse. What the fuck is the term I'm looking for? Whatever. Like Ingrid, the chances of Ingrid very minimal.
Yeah.
If you asked me before this, if you asked me about Ingrid coming back, I would have said that she's about as likely to come back as the American sports team.
Oh, see now that's difficult because Ingrid was iffy for a long time because the West's perception of her was very low. The American sports team, no one dislikes the American sports team.
No, Japan
the
does.
American sports, really?
Well, Japan did. It's worth it to say it that way. Japan did.
Okay, they're fucked then.
Yeah. I don't know, because from what I understand, they're easing up on that. So
Okay.
they are running parallel to Ingrid. So maybe in the next KOF.
Eh.
All right. Tokon confirms co-op.
What?
Yes, you can tag with your friends, both local and online.
Really?
Seems like
huh.
it. Yeah.
Well, Fighter Z had this where you could co-op against the AI and co-op against AI boss fights. So the tech was there, but I'm surprised for Tokon because Tokon you have to share the same health bar.
Yeah.
And at that point, that gets rid of a lot of the motivation to actually tag out.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Well, I guess that gives us something goofy to do whenever whichever one of us picks up Tokon.
Yeah. Alright, more Ingrid stuff which we won't talk about.
Yeah. It's got to be a special surprise.
Yeah. Robert is fucked royally.
Robert.
Mr.
Robert. Who?
Mr. Karate.
Oh, of course, Robert. Yes. Okay, I have not looked into this because, like, Fatal Fury is like me.
Yeah.
But
so, he looks like Robert. They gave him some of Takuma's moves and like one super from Rio, but aside from that, it's just Robert. The reason he's fucked is because he's releasing a day before Ingrid.
Oh, well, yeah, people ain't gonna be talking about him too
Yeah, no,
much.
Robert is dead.
That's unfortunate for him.
Shut outside Pow Pow Cafe.
Yeah, he's not allowed into Pow Pow Cafe. Pow Pow's in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I will say I'm glad that Robert's in because Robert, out of the heroic trio of Art of Fighting, Robert is the one that's kind of just never got them as much respect, you know?
Yeah. Okay, they could do the funniest shit with his story though.
What's that?
Have his arcade be JP stealing his apes.
Hey, we can't turn everybody into JP stealing their apes. You can't. We can't crack this joke about every single character that gets added.
I
Is
mean,
Ingrid also coming in because JP has stolen her apes?
no, but Robert is the Ken equivalent.
I I guess
I mean, both the two of them literally funded CVS, so
that is true. Yes. I don't know why, but I always kind of forget that Robert's rich.
I literally only ever remember because CVS. That's the only reason.
I see.
Senna joins Project L.
I'm sorry. What is Project L?
Senna has been announced for Project L. Whoever Senna is.
Oh, the unicorn lady that throws bananas at people.
No, I don't think so. It's a black woman with a big like one of those Halo swords, but it's roughly the size of her body.
Okay, this is a character they added after I played.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the Project L roster has been characters they added after I played, which I would have played in like 2012, so it's been a while. They've probably added a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Good chance they did, you know, which you can't hardly blame them, you know.
Yeah. Alright, and then the final bit of news, I think. Seems like it, yes. Final bit of news for today. Second announced.
Okay.
Yujiro Hanma from fucking
Yes.
Baki.
Yes. Which is going to raise so many questions because Baki men look like fucking freaks.
I mean, I never read Baki. Needs to be said.
I haven't either.
I know Yujiro Hanma just because he's infamous beyond his name. Like
Yes,
my
I must say, while I'm amused by it, I'm also very confused by people saying that he raped Donald Trump.
no, apparently there's a panel where he threatens to rape, or I guess he might have done it. I don't fucking know. But there is a panel where he says that he's gonna rape Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Oh, I didn't know that Baki was running at a time when those two would be relevant. I kind of thought Baki was like JoJo's, where it was like, well, no, JoJo's still running,
Yeah,
but I thought Baki was like one of those classic manga that were running in like the '90s and then wrapped up.
yeah. No, apparently not. Like
Okay,
all I know about this guy is that genuinely this is apparently canon to Baki. He has so much testosterone that men are chemically women to him.
uh, huh?
Apparently that's a thing that he rapes men because according to him, anything that gets him hard is a woman, and he chemically has so much testosterone that chemically speaking, every man is a woman compared to him. Something like that.
So, um, I have several questions.
I'm not sure I can answer. It's Baki.
First one. First one. Is Baki not a martial arts manga?
It's a martial arts manga on bath salts, from what I've seen.
Okay. Second question. Is this going to be represented in Tekken? Is he going to like if he beats Kazuya, is his win animation gonna be he starts to take his pants off and then it cuts to black?
No, but apparently there's a panel that they can use to infer that. Yes, like there's a specific way that they drew him walking away from a guy.
Okay. Third question. Do they think this is a good idea for the already notoriously salty and toxic player base of Tekken to introduce a character who legitimately who is a perfectly valid interpretation of this character, even if they never do anything in the game to imply it, but is it nonetheless a perfectly valid interpretation of this character that he rapes his opponent after beating them? Literally rapes his opponent.
I don't know. That's gonna be a question for Murray.
Okay. Are we sure Murray is genuinely involved here, or is Murray the guy that they shove out there to take on, like...
Good question. He is
Well,
still
they're...
like he's still the guy that relays the information to the fans, but like, and allegedly, he's a producer. But aside from that, like, I don't know.
Okay, because I have a hard time imagining them even have, like, handing this guy... Like, is Murray not a PR guy to begin with? Is he even, like, a game dev guy at all?
Allegedly, according to the credits.
Okay. What nationality is Murray?
American.
Okay. And Bamco, otherwise, like, is it not still a Japanese team working on Tekken?
I don't know. I probably I think Ariko is working on Tekken right now.
But they're gonna put the guy in charge, they're gonna go with a Westerner, an American.
Yeah.
Shit, that surprises the hell out of me. Well, alright.
Yeah, so interesting choice.
Yeah.
Also, surprisingly enough, not the first time it happened.
Really?
Yes, there's a
Wait,
game on the
first time that there's a Westerner in charge of Tekken, or first time that they added a rapist to Tekken?
It's not the first time that Yujiro Hanma has been a guest in a fighting game.
Oh, yes, I have heard about this, actually. I just saw a screenshot of it the other day, that he's in a fighting game that is
God of them break,
fighting game adaptation of Les Miserables?
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Yes. I forget the name of the game, but it was very humorous because it's very much a JoJo rendition of Les Miserables. Make no mistake, Jean Valjean does not look like he's down on his luck and all diseased and shit. No, he looks like he's about to throw down with Dio.
Yeah.
Which raises a lot of questions to me because like. Who is exactly was the antagonist in the martial arts version of Les Miserables? Like, I guess the closest thing to the antagonist of Les Miserables is Javert, but I believe well before the story concludes, Javert rather famously kills himself.
But yeah, he didn't want to fight Yujiro Hanma.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I guess this is the third time he's done it then, because he's also in, I believe, in God of them Breakblow.
Okay. All right then.
So yeah, which rapist do you think they're adding to Street Fighter?
Oh boy, okay. What spicy answer can we go for there? Because for like real answers, like with old Ronaldo, like the obvious answer there is to go for a gag about like some celebrity, right? Jared Leto, or whatever.
Yeah.
But for fictional rapists, as with Yujiro Hanma and God, who was the other fictional rapist that's been added to a fighting game?
Homelander, I think his name is.
Oh God. Well, here's the thing about that. Homelander's not the first guest character in Mortal Kombat to be a rapist.
Oh.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah. True.
With that said, geez, what series was it you had? Oh, Street Fighter. Boy, because Street Fighter, you gotta stay generally within the tone of it being a martial artist, right?
Yeah. I mean, the
And like, it
suggestions.
could be
The suggestions I've seen are interesting for because people have been throwing around different series and different characters they could add, like adding Rents to Guilty Gear.
adding who to Guilty Gear?
Rents.
I have no idea who that is.
Rents is a character from porn JRPG series. He is the main character. Everyone fucking hates him. Apparently, I don't know. I've only heard about this, but apparently
so
he's yeah.
Okay, so they're just going with a shallow meme answer of just naming any fictional rapist they can think of off the top of their head, regardless of whether or not that given character would even have like a fighting game move set to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point you might as well say like, oh well, I can add like Jackie Earl Haley from that movie where he played a pedophile that wasn't Freddy Krueger.
I'm trying to think though of like, does Street Fighter already have a character who was implied?
Oh boy. By some qualifications, I already have Alex.
True.
As much as it pains me to say, they're not taking it back. Every time that they are like, oh, guys, okay, you're misunderstanding. No. See, he's having sex with his cousin that was raised as his little sister. Well, and then people get mad and they're like, oh, okay, you're okay. We fucked up in the communication here and we've made it sound like something that it's not. No, don't worry about it. He's only having sex with his cousin that was raised as his little sister. And they're just going to keep doing that over and over again.
Yeah.
Because someone on the writing cast thinks that proximity breeds, what's the word?
Well, that's the thing. Proximity breeds.
Yes. Yeah, you're right, because I was about to say, like, proximity breeds contempt, but no, that's the exact opposite of what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, you can just stop proximity breeds. Bleh.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yep. All right. Well, outside of the news, we got two big topics to hit.
Yeah.
All right. So both of these are topics that could last a long time, but one's one that has a lot of depth, and the other one is going to be a lot of just I want this and then memeing.
Yeah.
So let's start off with I want this and memeing. All right, Street Fighter 6 Season 4. It's 4 characters over the course of late 2026 and early 2027.
Yeah.
Now, there's obviously just what characters do you want, and there's what characters do you think will come. Do you think there will be a particular theme here? Is there anything you've noticed a trend with the Street Fighter 6 roster that you notice it tends towards or that's been oddly absent? Because I note this every time. We're in this deep. We have 2 Street Fighter 3 characters on the roster. It's just Elena and Alex.
We're in this deep. There is no alpha characters.
There are no alpha characters. Yeah, you're right. There aren't any alpha characters. Ingrid.
I mean, I don't know if I want to count her, but sure.
The alpha characters in particular run into an odd thing where there are several alpha characters who are present in some form in terms of like having a character who has already got very similar gameplay or is explicitly meant to be a replacement. Because like we're not going to get Guy because Kimberly is supposed to be Guy.
Yeah.
But it is rather questionable that we are again. Street Fighter 6 is heavily built around Metro City as like the center of everything. Where's Cody?
In the Oval Office.
But oh god. Could you imagine fucking Street Fighter's like, yeah, Cody's so good that they elected him president, even though he's a fucking ex-convict.
They show Cody, and he now has a spray on tent that turns him orange.
Oh god, just talk about how like the Mad Gear gang was brought here by Mexico.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh boy, alright.
So anyway. But yeah, like
I will say.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Then again, like the guy I wanted to shout is like, oh, an alpha rep, not actually alpha rep. I'm wrong.
Oh, who are you gonna shout?
Adon, who is from 1.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, like no Karin, no Sodom. I forget who else. No Sakura. I think she came in alpha.
She did. Sakura's the shocking one. Sakura. Well, no, Sakura's not too shocking because she makes sense as being fitting into the category of character who gets put on DLC because people will pay for her.
Yeah. No Eagle despite Ken working for him. But he's also from 1, so.
Yeah.
No chemicals. Because they retired.
No. Which DiCaprio would be cool, but she's not alpha representation, so that wouldn't fit what you're looking for here.
I mean, shit, if they put DiCaprio in and she has more than 3 moves, then, that would be cool.
Which she would.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I
mean, Sodom, I think, is still in the space of like, if they futz with him, I could see them bringing him back. And like, they're willing to reference the fact that there exists a man named Sodom. But he still feels like he's in the space of like, people are going to get real awkward about a character being named Sodom.
Yeah. Just change it so it's Sodom. It's just spelled in
No, I got it.
It's spelled in Kana everywhere.
We just need to include his last name, and that'll be the trick.
Sodom butt 6.
Oh, no, I was going to go with Hussein. Oh, boy.
In Britain, his name is Sudden Buggerin.
Yeah! He'll be renamed over in Britain. He will no longer be Saddam. He'll be Sudden Buggery.
Yeah.
It happens very quickly.
I mean, it would if Street Fighter was getting Yuji Ohama.
Yeah!
So anyway.
Oh. All right. Yeah, all right. Okay. So, in terms of who do you actually want versus how who you think is coming, how much difference do you think there is at this point?
Hmm. But it's also a difficult thing because, like, we have to keep in mind um the scheme of having 2 women and 2 men being added each season.
They have stuck to that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Ooh, well, Street Fighter's got a pretty good women's roster, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
So it's not like Tekken where it's like, well, the women are here.
I mean, hey, there's one woman I can shout out from Tekken who's cool.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you and I both have our picks that we think are cool off the Tekken women's roster, but it doesn't feel like Bamco really likes them.
True. I mean, Bamco doesn't really like anyone who is not Jin or Kazuya or Heihachi. So
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, oh god, they've hit a lot of Street Fighter's classic women roster, but they are still missing, like as you said, Sakura and Karine.
yeah.
They're not here yet. Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 3's got a bunch because there's Makoto.
Yeah.
There is excuse me. Granola.
I don't remember her from the Street Fighter 3 roster.
Oh. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 3 has Makoto, 3 has Ibuki.
Yes. Poison, technically.
I guess. If you want to counter.
There's somebody I'm missing. Who am I forgetting? I feel like there's someone that we're missing here.
From 3?
Yeah.
Remy.
Ah! I did honestly for a second think Laura, and I was like, wait, no, that's the wrong Matsuda. Are you stupid?
What are you, stupid?
Yeah. Hell, we got excuse me, from Street Fighter 5, where's Colleen? Where's Falk? Bleh, but nonetheless.
Yeah. Where's Rose's
Laura.
assistant? Where's
And
Lucia?
of course, there's always the good chance they're just going to introduce a new character.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I'm really glad season 3 didn't have any guest characters, so it doesn't turn into every season being like, oh, who are the guest characters? Like, it's kind of annoying that NRS does that every season. I'm kind of glad we ain't got to worry about that with Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, it's also needs to be said that, like, the guest characters that we did get are barely guests.
No,
they're
characters
just, like,
that already crossed over with Street Fighter years ago.
Yeah. Like, going by that logic, the only characters who'd have a reason to cross over now are just, like, Morrigan. Like, none of the other Darkstalkers, just her. And, like, the Marvel cast. So...
Well, Morrigan and the Marvel cast would both, like, be pretty well impossible because they're way too strong for the Street Fighter world and way too high fantasy.
True.
That's the same thing with, like, Tifa. When people go, oh, Street Fighter's going to add Tifa, the leak said so. It's like, I mean, I won't say anything's impossible. Shit can happen, and Tifa's a very popular character. But at the same time, guys, like, Tifa's a character who, by the end of Final Fantasy VII, can, like, punch God in the face and God has to sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, in terms of who do I think is logically coming, I think no Street Fighter game is going to end without Sakura on the roster.
Not likely.
Right? So, she may not be Season 4, she may be Season 5, or even a Season 6 if Season 6 winds up happening. It could... Street Fighter 6 could have a longer post-launch support cycle than Street Fighter 5, because Street Fighter 6 has been a bigger success than Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
And unlike Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 6 hasn't had to go, okay, the game launched bad, but we'll use the post-launch support cycle to make it good. But I don't see Street Fighter 6 wrapping up without Sakura. Sakura is one of those characters that even though she's in the DLC dimension because she's, she sells, It's also kind of shocking that the game launched with Jury in hindsight.
Yeah.
But Sakura is one of those characters like, yeah, she'll be here. Because people will pay for her.
Yep. Same for Ibuki, I feel.
Yeah, definitely a similar story there. Ibuki is one of those ones like if you really like Ibuki and Sakura are both characters that either you like them or you don't.
Yeah.
But if you like them, you're absolutely willing to pay for them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other than that, I would expect a pretty solid mixture of like, okay, here's the characters that are bangers that we expect to sell, right? Because season 3, Sagat was there in season 3. And Sagat, neither you nor I really care about Sagat that much. I think both of us will play him a little bit and be like, oh yeah, it's Sagat. But Sagat's a World Warrior, and World Warriors sell unless they're E Honda or T Hawk or Fei Long. Or up until recently, DJ. I don't think people really started to like DJ until 6.
Yeah.
And then Street Fighter, like the season 3 also, though, had the oddball pick, Ingrid.
Yes.
Ingrid was the one that as soon as they announced it, like, Steve Viper and Alex are both like, okay, yep, some people like them, some people don't care. Either which way, not picks that's like, what? Who? Ingrid caught so many people off guard.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to just take it through all of the seasons that we've had so far and just trying to find patterns there of like, was there an oddball pick in each season? Like, can you reasonably?
Season 1,
yeah, Aki
season 1, Aki
would
was
be
the oddball.
yeah.
Yeah,
but season 2 was there?
Well, season 2, arguably Terry and Mai in a sense.
True. I suppose no one expected that. Yeah.
Who are the actual like vanilla Street Fighter characters in season 2? Bison,
yeah, and
Elena.
Yes.
Which Elena, I would say Elena's like not hyper popular. I would say she's along the lines of like Alex in terms of, as with most of the Street Fighter 3 characters, either you like them or you don't.
Yeah.
No one hates them. No one loves them. Like none of them. No one considers them massively popular. The only Street Fighter 3 newcomer that I think of as a character like people are going to immediately blow loads for, and it's just an inherently appealing character design for a lot of people, is probably Dudley. And Dudley's been oddly missing for over a decade now.
Yeah. They're saving him for the gay season. It's gonna be Dudley and Eagle and other British men in suspenders.
Well, we gotta have the 2 women here, so right. So we got Poison.
But I mean, is Poison gay though? Like, she's trans, yeah,
she's trans. It's the spectrum. It's LGBT.
Sure.
Oh boy, if I had to pick what Street Fighter character I thought was a lesbian, I probably would have picked Cammy, and she's already base roster.
I mean, Judy is definitely bisexual, but she's already base roster.
Oh yeah.
And Zangief is also. I mean, he's not a woman for starters, but he's also base roster. You could. I mean, if you wanted to, you could just confirm that the Capre is gay.
Yeah. If they won't do it for Cammy, they can do it for DiCapri.
Yeah. So she could work. Alternatively, Seth is non-binary now, so.
Yeah, they also work. They could have a Tekken crossover and be like, don't call it the LGBT season, but have it all be all LGBT characters. And by the way, here's Lily from Tekken. Not saying anything, but you know.
Yeah.
God, they're most of them are base roster because, like, I could, excuse me, Marisa is almost certainly canonically bisexual, base roster. Manon, she ain't disagreeing with Marisa's idea, base roster.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Street Fighter is one of those things where like most of the casts are unconfirmed. but the characterization
Yeah.
lends it themselves very well to being specific sexualities or identities as such. Like I
Yeah,
think the only one that they confirmed is Set. Set is just straight up non-binary.
Yeah, well, they kind of have to be.
Yeah,
The Street Fighter is kind of like Resident Evil. It's a no one has sex universe.
yeah. I mean, it's a thing of like how based on what these people are saying. How likely do you think they are to have sex? Because like, because like, Zangief. The way he talks, the way he's been characterized in the best I don't know how many games, uh, makes him come off gay sometimes. Sure, you couldn't say the same about like Ryu.
No.
Like Ryu is so sexless that like to me
Yes.
the only reasonable thing is that he's ace. Because like
What? The thing is, the only characters that canonically have sex, so far as we know, are the ones that have kids.
yeah
It's Ken, it's Guile, it's Sea Viper.
yeah
Like, Capcom generally has very sexless universes. Devil May Cry is the oddball exception, and even then, it's like Dante has all those weird questions. Like, does he? We don't know.
yeah
Like, at least with Devil May Cry, it's like, well, with Nero and Virgil, we know.
yeah.
And with Lady and Trish, we can just guess based off them looking at Dante and going like, yeah, at some point, you know.
Yeah. Hmm. So I forget what we were talking about before we start talking about the gay season for Street Fighter 6.
Well, we were talking about who we would expect or who we'd want or what have you. Which I think I was going down the road of who I'd expect because I was saying like, okay, I think it's reasonable to take a shot on Sakura because like it's weird that she's still not here, and she's also a very popular character, so we can go with her for like the popular pick of like, yeah, she'll sell DLC. They trust her to sell
Yeah.
DLC, and then they can go with an oddball pick afterwards.
Oh yeah. That I remember now. We went into that topic because I brought up that there might be patterns to them choosing characters, and there seems to be always at least one oddball pick and one character who was a boss in Street Fighter 2.
Oh yeah. I don't see Rog coming this soon in that case because Rog, there's already Ed here for the boxer, right?
Yeah,
I would say Vega.
yeah, probably. Like I also would say Vega over Rog just because I don't know honestly why. I think
Vega, there's not
yeah
anyone in the game right now that plays like Vega.
yeah.
Rog, I love Rog, but Rog, his whole moveset is runs up and punches you. And there's a lot of characters who can get pretty close to simulating that in Street Fighter 6 currently.
Yeah, they made it a universal mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah. God, that's only going to make Rog more terrifying to fight, though, if he does get added to Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. Whew. God, for oddball picks, I mean, always they could just add new characters. And I think Capcom probably does want to add a new character because Season 3 didn't have any newbies.
Yeah.
So I would not be shocked if they are going to take a character who in the past, quote unquote, did not work and be like, all right, here's a twist on the character and we'll now make them work, right?
Sean's son.
Probably make them a waifu, right?
Sean's son.
Sean's weird because they already kind of introduced female Sean, but not gameplay-wise, just story-wise.
Yeah.
But, like, Laura's not a girl failure, so she loses out on that aspect of Sean. Oh, boy. Like, I feel like we can list all... Sodom may come back as a waifu now, right?
Yeah.
Or Hakan. Or, wishful thinking on my part, I know. Or... Oh, boy. Oh man, I nearly said or T-Hawk, and I was like, no wait, they did that, and it still didn't work.
Yeah, no, turns out the things rotten with T-Hawk weren't the design, weren't just the design.
No, T-Hawk is one of those character designs. If he is strong at all, people don't want to deal with him. So you either make him weak or you don't make him at all.
Yeah.
The classic rule of unless it's KOF, grapplers can't be that strong because they just make the game too unfun for everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't. SNK can get away with it because they got stuff like dodge rolls and short hops and all that, but everyone else is like, yeah, we gotta keep these guys on a fucking leash.
I mean, if Street Fighter adds a new, with one of the big patches, if they ever add a new universal mechanic, I just want it to be dodge rolls.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm missing from Street Fighter 6. Like even if it's the CVS2 only forward dodge roll, I'd be fine with that.
Well, quick question. Meta-wise, wouldn't that make throws even stronger?
Sorta?
Just because, like, throws are... presumably, we're talking about the KOF balance rule, where throws are what beat dodge rolls.
Yeah.
Though even then, that's a weird situation, because... Oh, excuse me. In KOF, throws are context-based. So there are times where you didn't mean to go for a throw, but you got to throw. Street Fighter, you have to intentionally input a certain input to get throw.
Yes.
So that's the thing that would, like, really change the dynamic there.
Yes, and I also think it would just be an interesting new option to do out of the corner, because, one of the things with the corner loops, the throw loops in the corner, is that you can either take the throw or you can shimmy the throw. But like if you shimmy, then you need to learn this very specifically timed movement to actually be able to pull it off and shit. And
that is a good point, because like a lot of times what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump the throw. That's usually what I go for because it's easier timing wise than shimmying it. But jumping the throw, of course, leaves you open to anti-airs. A dodge roll would not leave you open to anti-airs, but it'd still get punished by throwing.
Yes. So I think it would be a nice way to give people an out of the throw loops, but it would still also not completely nullify the power of throws.
Yeah. I will say I don't think Season 4 is when they get rid of throw loops.
Not likely. I just want dodge rolls in Street Fighter because I like fighting against with dodge roll better. After that, they can add running instead of dash.
Fundamental change to not just the gameplay, but the movesets of the animations of the characters. They'd have to make a new running animation for every character.
Yeah.
And like that's a huge change for several characters because there's only so slow and shitty you can make runs, right?
Yeah.
Because like Geef, generally speaking, in games that have dashes, Geef's dashes aren't very good because if Geef's dashes were very good, holy shit,
Yeah.
But like when you throw like I usually play with one of the Capcom isms in CVS. That's just my preference, a way of doing things. I don't like to worry about SNK's meter mechanics because I find SNK's meter mechanics weird. And I don't have to worry about the rage system or like the instant blocking or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, when I play Geef and CVS, I really should play him on the SNK isms more because holy shit, Zangief would run.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about N Groove, the reason I like it, is, well, apparently it's Akuma's best groove, but like genuinely, the genuine reason that I trended towards N Groove even before finding that out is because the way it works isn't that different to any of the Capcom grooves. Like the only changes to the meter is that you have to enter into a special mode, which you just do by pressing the heavy attacks together. And that's how you get your level 3, and otherwise you can only do your level 1, and that's the only change.
I do remember that being the case. That N Groove was pretty reasonable. Like in my head, though, it just gets so screwy because S Groove exists, and S Groove is like the fucked up.
Yes, because S Groove is KOF 94 and N Groove is KOF 98. Something like that.
Yes, S groove fucks me up because S groove goes back to when KOF meters made no sense.
Yeah.
And then K groove, if memory serves, K groove isn't really that unreasonable. It's just rage mode, instant blocking, and then also you have a meter, but the meter is pretty logical.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. S groove, of course, has spot dodge instead of dodge roll. Yeah.
Yes.
Does K groove not have any dodge at all?
Uh, I don't think it does because neither does A groove or C groove. I forget which one's third strike.
P groove.
Okay, then yeah, P.
That one's the way to remember that is P for parry.
Yeah. So yeah, P groove also doesn't have dodge. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, one of many reasons why P groove is really bad. It's cute to have Street Fighter 3 parries, but yeah, you miss out on so much of the kit otherwise.
Yeah.
And you're really relying on the idea that you can successfully get parries in a game that isn't Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 is a game that has a little bit more of a quote unquote deliberate pace than the alpha games, which CVS is shooting for the pacing of.
But yeah, like I'm because the thing is, like, there already is dodge rolling in the whatchamacallit in the code, because the World Tour NPCs do it.
Yeah.
So like, just I don't know how much animation work and shit like that it would be. I mean, I'd be fine with universal animation for the dodges, honestly, but.
Well, it'd have to be a lot of work. You can't just do universal animations across the roster because, fuck, just think about the body differences between Cammy and Geef.
True. But yeah, like if they decide to mix up the stuff with a new mechanic, I want it to be that, because I think that would be cool.
It would. I feel like I don't know. I'd be surprised if they added a new mechanic before season 5. Season 5, it seems like that's the one where it's like, fuck it, we're
They
just gonna
already
throw
added
in a
drive
bunch of
parry,
shit.
or not drive parry, whatchamacallit, drive reversal.
Drive reversal, like as in V reversal?
Yes.
That was in at launch.
No. That was added in season 2, I think.
Really? Because my
Yes.
memory was, I remember getting drive reversal on accident all the time when I was meaning to go for drive impact.
Yeah, no, originally it was just drive parry and drive impact, and then they added reversals in like the launch of season 1 characters, or like at season 2, something like that. Like, it was early on, but it wasn't yet at launch.
I don't think that's the case. Hang on, let me look this up because I remember Street Fighter 6 when they revealed the whole drive system. I remember drive reversal being part of it, and I remember going like, "Oh, that seems like crap." Like, why would I go for that over the other defensive tools?
Yeah.
Let me look up. Hang on. I'm trying to find the actual news article when they first revealed the drive system.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's an article from Game Rant on May 27th, 2023, including drive reversal is one of the things you can do with the drive gauge.
Okay.
What's the event hubs? That's what I'm trying to look for. That's the fighting game news source. June 3rd, 2022, this article. Yeah, drive reversals are right here on the dissection of the drive system news announcement. June
Okay.
3rd, 2022.
Guess I'm wrong then.
Huh. Well, either which way, I kind of would expect that like by season 5 they will add a new drive mechanic because they're going to want to test stuff out for Street Fighter 7,
Yeah.
right? Assuming season 5 is when they want to wrap it up, right? And it's not going to go like, screw it, Street Fighter 6 made so much money, we're going to go to season 8, baby.
Yeah, season 10.
Yeah, there's Street Fighter 6 forever. And by the time we get to season 8, Ryu will have a 4th costume.
And the donkey kick will do like 75% damage.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Okay. So, who would you say is like your prediction for like actually the reasonable picks for who's going to be added to the roster? And who do you actually want for your 4 picks?
All right, well, let's see. For reasonable, for the boss spot, obviously Vega. Because of the reasons we listed earlier.
Yes. For who do you think is the realistic pick, not who you want, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
huge Vega fan, Addy the Hero is.
Yeah. Then, let's see. Who do I think is one of the following 3? Ibuki, Sakura, or Makoto.
Okay.
Because the Ibuki and Sakura are in DLC hell. And
yep.
And Makoto is a character that a lot of people have been asking for, so maybe they're balking already. I don't know.
Yeah.
It really depends on whether Makoto sold in Street Fighter 4. You know, they have that data, I don't, so...
Though even then they already made the choice with Ingrid, even though Ingrid was never like a particularly big seller. They were like, yeah, you know what, we think this character could work. It's just that the people didn't get stuck to him right yet.
True, but at the same time, Ingrid didn't have like a big fan base to really appeal to. Like, sure, you could say Japan, but like I haven't really heard a lot of shit from Japan about Ingrid either. It's just, oh yeah, she was cool. So, like,
yeah,
Ingrid is free real estate currently, whereas Makoto already has a large fan base that want her to be a very specific way, and that very specific way might not have worked in the previous games. So,
yeah.
Let's see. I mean, okay, weirdo pick. Could be really anyone. So I'm gonna go really out there. Necro.
I don't know why, but when I was thinking weirdo pick, I was also thinking Necro.
He's just weird enough. Like Necro is the guy that is not 12 from 3. And so
yeah.
Like the people from 3 specifically, people who can easily fit the weirdo spot are him and Remy. And for some reason, I'm not feeling Remy. I don't think Remy is likely.
Yeah, Remy's a big question of like, if they'd want to do Remy, how would they make him not Guile?
Yeah. Whereas with Necro, like, yes, he is parts Dhalsim and parts Blanca, but he's also a combination of the two, and not those two. Or, you know, like, he doesn't share, like, their moveset with them. He just shares ideas with them.
Yeah, Dhalsim, like, Necro looks like he's pale Dhalsim, but he, like, doesn't play like Dhalsim at all.
Yeah. So, like, they could do something with that, I think. Although, like, if Necro comes back, I expect him to be some variant of the copy fighter. Like, he's not gonna be just made of goo anymore. I don't assume he's gonna be like a robot man.
12. If we get 12, we're not gonna get 12. We're gonna get 13.
Yeah.
It would be funny if they just outright went 12 was so bad that we needed 2 generations to make him good. 14.
Yeah. It worked for Final Fantasy.
12.
Yeah.
I would say like 12 is in a space of like, I don't think Capcom would write 12 off because hypothetically, it's almost kind of cool having Robot Goo Man T1000 as a Street Fighter fighter. But for one thing, it wouldn't be 12 anymore. It'd be 13, much in the same way that we're not going to get Q ever again. We're just going to get G if we ever get Q back.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between this character's not coming back because they're trash gameplay-wise, and this character's not coming back because they're visually boring, their story is boring, and there's very little appealing about them. Right? Because there's like, I never say never on any of these guys, except maybe like Joe and Mike from Street Fighter 1. But like, Abel, I think we can mostly agree, is in the space of like, man, not a lot going on there, huh?
Yeah.
Whereas 12 wasn't boring visually. He wasn't, I wouldn't call 12 a boring character at all. But he just sucked. He felt bad to play. And he wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So it would have to be we'll bring him back. We're not going to treat him as an all-star because people don't really, per se, want him. But we'll bring him back because there's interesting ideas here.
Yeah.
Remy's in a similar space to Abel of like, he's not... Like, what is there going on story-wise that's interesting about this guy?
I mean, with Remy, I feel like the main difference between him and Abel is that Remy is, for all intents and purposes, hot, whereas Abel is a guy. So
yeah, Remy at least has like where they play on him being conceited about his sexuality and all that. So that's unusual for the men's roster in Street Fighter, other than Vega, and Vega is, of course, meant to be like
Vega is Vega-sexual.
Vega, yes, Vega-sexual. Vega comes across as a pervert.
Yeah.
Remy doesn't come across as a pervert. Remy comes across as like just simply casually like trying to get in your head, but not in a weirdo Voldo kind of way of getting in your head. Just like he's just arrogant rather than oh, let me lick this blood off my claw. I love the pretty ladies and I love the way their blood tastes.
Yeah.
Which is totally what Vegas sounds like, by the way.
Yeah, he's been on an excursion to the bayou.
Yeah. It's close enough to Spain.
Yeah. I mean, they speak French in... Okay. I mean, they do speak French in Louisiana, I think, but I don't know what that has to do with anything. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, boy. All right. God. So, yeah, your pick so far is for...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
My picks so far are Vega, Necro, and I don't know, fucking, let's say Makoto for now. Sure.
Okay.
So those are the three so far. So who's someone that is likely from the women's roster who isn't already there? Poison.
Poison. It's kind of odd that Poison's not on Street Fighter 6 yet.
Yeah.
I will say, Poison is, when you consider Street Fighter 6's very in-depth muscle and fat physics systems.
Oh, Poison's gonna be like Poison. Like if they had Poison currently, because also of the like political climate of the world currently and shit like that. Like Poison's gonna bring in all of the big bucks from the Gooners and also will cause a controversy.
Oh yes, yeah. It's kind of shocking she did it for Street Fighter 5 because Street Fighter 5 was already like largely running around in that time period where that was a real problem, a real like. The political world going ape shit and deciding that it needs to get involved on literally every work of media ever. Nothing can ever possibly come up and not be a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, it's kind of shocking that, like, when you talk about with Street Fighter, like, the fan service queens, Chun-Li, but, like, casually. Chun-Li's never, like, going, look at this sex.
Yeah.
But people look at Chun-Li, and Chun-Li's shapely and has humongous thighs, and people like that. Jury's got a lot of look at this sex going on, right?
Yes, but Jury is also for the weirdos. Capcom has decided.
Yes, she is, which the weirdos have been very happy about. But the resident queen of look at this sex in Street Fighter is Poison.
Yeah.
And boy, I mean, here's another thing. In between Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6, another game came out that happened to feature another transgender character that a large amount of people went nuts for.
Yes, but different genres of trans characters. Because like Bridget is a petite girl. She's very reserved. You know, she dresses like a nun for a reason. Stuff like that. Poison is the opposite.
Yes, but nonetheless, it presents the possibility.
True.
Poison is another one. Like, I don't see Street Fighter 6's DLC support ending without Sakura here, without Poison here, and probably without Dan, right?
I don't know. I think that then depends, because like Dan only made it into 5 because they needed more time for 6.
That's true. Like, Dan's in a place where like he's in most of Capcom's fighting games that include Street Fighter, and you're like, hey, Dan's here. At the same time, if Dan's missing, you're not going like, where's Dan?
Yeah.
Like, he's all over Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter Alpha. All the numbered entries outside of 1, 2, and 3, and until 6. At the same time, like, I'm not looking at Street Fighter 6's roster and going like, man, it's just not Street Fighter until Dan gets here.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the joke characters too, is that like, you know, Dan's alright, but like between like in the war between Street Fighter and KOF got the better joke character, because like you look at the KOF roster, you go, where is Shingo?
Yeah, and KOF skips Shingo a lot.
Yes.
Like, but there are fighting game joke characters that it's like, if they're not there, you're like, what the fuck, this game is not finished, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a Tekken game without Yoshimitsu.
Yeah.
Imagine a Soul Calibur game without Voldo. Those do exist. The first one or two didn't have Voldo, but they don't feel right because Voldo's not there.
I thought you were gonna say, imagine a Soul Calibur game without Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, that's also true. Here's another thing with SNK. SNK has the joke characters they like and want to put in every game, and it's not the joke characters that the actual audience likes and wants in every game.
Yeah.
Because we're going, where's Shingo? SNK at any given time is going, where's Chong and Choi?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Where the fuck is Donadu?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you and I are the odd ducks on that one, aren't we? Because I think most people hate Xanadu.
Yes.
Granted, I'm always the weird one. If they add a stinky character that everyone hates, but he's a grappler, I'll still be like, no, I like him though. Right?
Yeah.
How many champions of Hakan do you know other than me?
Ooh, I think I come across one every, like, I don't know, 3 months online, and that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, not exactly everyone's favorite goofball from the Street Fighter series.
Yeah.
See, I'm in a position with Hakan where my best hope is that he gets waifu'd, right?
Yeah.
But even then, it's gonna get nasty if they do that.
Yeah. I mean, see the thing is that, like, at least with Hakan, I see some supporters of. There's literally one supporter of Rufus I have heard of.
I think I've seen a few, but none of them are character supporters. It's they love him for his dive kicks or for his pressure.
Yeah.
And they love him for his kit, but they don't like the character. I don't think anyone likes Rufus as a character and goes like, man, the best thing in the world is when Street Fighter makes fun of fat people.
Yeah. I mean, I want them to announce Rufus for Street Fighter 6, and it's his beta design, and then they say that he was sick in Street Fighter 4.
Oh shit. With a disease that not only turned him white, it also bloated him to 3 times his body fat.
Yeah. and
That wasn't
and gave
fat
him
inside him.
and
It
gave
was
him hair
pus.
and gave him hair.
Yes.
Uh,
He still has the same jiggle physics where it's all wobbly, but now it's muscle.
yeah.
His abs are wobbling all the time. Oh boy. All right. Which four do you want?
Okay. I mean, the plus one, the bingo that is not happening ever, I don't think, is Rugal. So I'll just throw him out there, but he's not actually on the list because, like, yeah.
Yeah.
If by some
I
matter.
could ask you what character do you want added to Undernight, and you'd be like, Rugal.
Yeah.
I get Melted Blood, Rugal. What character from Mortal Kombat? Rugal. Which, in fairness, out of the KOF cast, Rugal would probably fit Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
best.
I mean,
But
you can ask
he's
me.
already got at least one fatality.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask me. You can ask me which characters do I want to be added to any fighting game. It's gonna be Akuma and or Rugal.
Yeah.
Like I am a big supporter of the Akuma Everywhere system. Mainly because I think it's really funny.
I support the Terry Everywhere system more, but I'm also a fan of the Akuma Everywhere system.
So
God, could you imagine Terry in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Both of his fatalities would have to be. Oh no, one of his fatalities would just be that they get knocked off the top of Geese Tower.
Yes.
Even if the stage wasn't Geese Tower. And no matter what his opponent is, Terry tries to save them, but they go no.
Yeah.
And intentionally kill themselves. Like he does that to Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage is like, no, you idiot, you kill me. Ha ha.
Yeah. It's fine, Johnny Cage will come back in real bad Mortal Kombat 13.
Yeah, Nightmare Johnny.
Yeah.
Terry, I will never be just a memory.
I mean, I imagine one of Terry's fatals in Mortal Kombat would just be the Buster Wolf, but instead of the big explosion, just making like shooting them backwards, the big explosion happens and then their feet are still standing there, and that's it.
And Terry like goes, oh shit, and then just shrugs at the camera like, well, whoops.
Yeah.
Thought he was stronger than that.
Oh no! And then he runs away.
Yeah. Chased by the fucking police.
Yeah. Would Terry be the only character voiced in Japanese, more or less? Technically.
Yeah, that'd be great. And it's still got the NRS character intros where they try to talk to Terry, but Terry talk like this, and the others are like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Okay, the ultimate bit would be that most of the cast is like, "What is wrong with you?" But Liu Kang, Raiden, and Quan Chi, when they talk to Terry, they switch to their old goofy voices.
Yeah.
So Terry's talking to Quan Chi and going like, "Hey, kick back, oh!" And Quan Chi is just like, "Wooly!"
Yeah, I mean, I've already noticed that they've done that with MK12. Ermac has lines where he yells the old timey MK gibberish.
Oh god! I hope with Mortal Kombat, I hope someone on NRS tells them like, look, we got to bring back the sense of humor, guys. That's a big part of what's missing since Mortal Kombat 11. I don't think Raiden. Hang on, I don't play Raiden in MK1. I don't play against a lot of Raidens in MK1. I feel like he doesn't shout gibberish during the electric fly.
I don't remember if he does.
God, he definitely shouted gibberish during the electric fly still in Mortal Kombat X. God, I can't remember with Mortal Kombat 11 though if he did. Mortal Kombat 11 seems like it would have been the game to get rid of it. Mortal Kombat 11 was when they got rid of a lot of sense of humor.
I try not to think of Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Like when I bought MK12, the entire series was on sale, and I went, well, I'm not likely to want to play MKX and MK11. I'm not paying money for. So
yeah, like Mike will sometimes ask about the Mortal Kombats, and I'll describe them, and Mortal Kombat 11 will be the one that he hears and goes like, "Oh, hey, that sounds really good." And I go like, "Yeah, I mean, I for you, yes, but I really didn't like it." I mean, I don't know if I can even say that properly. I liked Rambo. Joker was cool in that game,
I don't trust that.
but
Spawn had a cape.
that's true. Spawn's never good when he has a cape. Oh boy. All right. Ugh.
So
Let's
yeah.
see.
Where
So yeah,
were we? I forget.
you went with Rugal
Oh yeah,
and
no. I didn't go with Rugal. I said that Rugal's like the eternal plus one because he's not happening.
yes, okay. So let's reiterate on your picks first before we move on to
Yes.
mine.
Well, let's see. For who I'd actually like. Adon definitely. I miss him.
Okay. He's been away a long time now.
Yeah. I need him to scream in my ears.
Java!
Yeah.
Ah!
What dude?
Every time you do the move, he gives up on pronouncing part of it until eventually he is just shrieking.
Yeah.
Ah!
It's like it's like the Spider-Man game where they had all of the lines recorded separately for when you're walking and when you're web swinging. So if you're web swinging, then Spider-Man extends voice the fucking horse while talking.
Okay.
So with Aaron, they just recorded all of his lines like 15 times, but it's all that's just like getting more unintelligible with each recording.
Yeah.
And like the more moves you do in a quick sequence, the more he goes into the gibberish recordings.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But yeah, I think he'd be cool. Let's see. I mean, should I keep to the whatchamacallit, the pattern that they have established of having one oddball and one Divider 2 boss, of which they'll have to run out eventually.
Let's say for the want, you don't have to follow the patterns.
Okay. Then yeah, Adon, Ibuki. I think she'd be cool in Street Fighter 6. I miss her too.
God, we don't have a whole lot of characters with air fireballs in Street Fighter 6, so
Yeah.
well, and she's one character that wouldn't have to respect drive parries a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, if they make Ibuki, like if they go farther into her being a grappler, so it's actually through grabs now instead of hit grabs, that would be brutal.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then let's see. All right, Lucia.
Okay.
And
She came too late in Street Fighter V's lifetime. She didn't get enough play.
yeah, I mean, I liked Lucia because she was K-Dash.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of K-dashing going on with her.
And like that it's not likely that they'll ever add K-Dash to Street Fighter 6, so I went that's for the more likely option.
The possibility is higher than 0, but lower than 1%.
Yeah. I mean, that's true for like anyone from KOF.
Yeah.
And then for the final one, That's a good question because there's a lot of people that I'm like, man, I'd love to see what they do with them in Street Fighter 6. Because like Gen would be interesting, Eagle would be interesting, Dudley would be cool. Like, there's
We
nothing
don't
to do with
have a
Dudley. Yeah?
we don't have a Gin like style character here. We don't have a stance switch character.
Yeah, no.
I feel like though with how Street Fighter 6 has given everybody a stance based thing where it's like, okay, enter this stance, then do one of 6 moves. I feel like with Gin, they'd be like, oh fuck it, let's give him another stance.
Yeah. No 4 stances.
Oh god, yeah, because he's in Street Fighter's Alpha and 4, he's only got Crane and Mantis, doesn't he?
Yes.
All right, screw it. Now he's got Tiger and Dragon or whatever.
Yeah. Hmm. Like, yeah, he'd be really interesting. Eagle, Eagle is a normal space character for the most part, so he'd be very interesting to see how they handle him.
Yeah.
Zeku
Ooh.
or equivalent, like I would like the Strider function.
Yeah, and Zeku's not got to be in a good Street Fighter yet.
Yeah. Hmm. And like that, Dudley's just cool. Dudley can be here. He's just cool.
Yeah. Dudley will be on both of our want lists.
Yeah. But yeah, like for sure, I want Adon, I want Ibuki, I want Lucia. I don't know who the last character is for sure. I guess let's say Gen.
All right. Well, those are both pretty solid pick lists. I'd be very happy with to see for season 4. I'll say, let's see. I'm kind of expecting there to be a real, just sudden shock twist character here. After Ingrid, it's almost kind of set the expectation, right? No!
Yeah, anyway.
Season 1 didn't have any real shock twists. It was, all right, here's 2 characters from Street Fighter. Here's 3 characters from Street Fighter 5. We're going to fix them all in some way. We've made Rashid's visuals less dumb and given him a more interesting moveset. Ed is no longer. Ed now has actual special moves, actual inputs.
Ed is no longer in modern controls.
Aki is like, excuse me, Fong.
Woman.
Woman, yeah. And also here's Akuma, because like, look, Akuma is one of those characters. There's never going to be a Street Fighter game again without Akuma.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that if he's not there, it's like it doesn't feel like real Street Fighter anymore. Akuma, furthermore, though, is a guy that if he's missing for more than 2 DLC seasons, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So Akuma had to come in season 1 or season 2. But season 2 immediately hit us with the, we thought this would never happen, because here's Terry and Mai, right?
Yeah.
And then season 3 again hit us with the thought this would never happen. But it's not a crossover character this time. It is a Street Fighter character, but it's a Street Fighter character no one... go ahead.
I mean, that heavily depends, because apparently all of it is canon, so she is both a Street Fighter character and a crossover character at the same time.
Okay. But either which way, Ingrid was a character that I think a lot of us figured was just never coming back.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was easier to think of Ingrid coming back the more fondness you had for her personally. But a lot of people, including myself, had never played Ingrid in any of the games. And so the only knowledge we had of her was Princess Waifu Goddess, who was in that one game, and everyone went, what the fuck, why is there a Princess Waifu Goddess here? Right?
Yeah.
Which, of course, people have got to observe in the last month or two. That's not really super accurate. There's a lot of meminess going on with Ingrid and a lot of weird sense of humor going on with Ingrid. She's not really supposed to be super Princess Waifu. But nonetheless, that was the perception of her.
Yeah.
So I feel like with season 4, there's a question of how can they possibly, again, be like, here's somebody you never thought would come back.
Geki.
Okay, was Geki the monk or was Geki the ninja?
Geki was the ninja.
Okay. Because, like, I think that's, like, the solid answer.
Retsu is already in World Tour.
Yes, I know he is. But like Geki, like Retsu's the one out of the Street Fighter 1 guys I would be not surprised if he comes back. Because Street Fighter 6's World Tour has Retsu all over it. You're hanging out with him a lot.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that a large point of it is supposed to be going, hey, isn't Retsu actually pretty cool? Isn't it kind of sad that he's missed out on the game since?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Who is missing from the Street Fighter 1 roster? Eagle, but he's been referenced. Adon, you know, I guess Sagat did reference him, but like otherwise dead currently. Who was in Street Fighter 1?
Joe and Mike.
Yeah, Joe and Mike. Joe is in World Tour.
Mike got referenced in Street Fighter 5 with Balrog's arcade ending, where he Balrog Street Fighter 1 arcade ending, where he dreams that he was Mike or whatever.
Yes,
he gets Mike confused for himself in his dreams. Like, in terms of what Street Fighter 1 characters have been legitimately left behind, I think it is more or less just Geki. Because, like, for the America stage, it's Joe and Mike. For the Japan stage, I believe the Japan stage was Retsu and Geki. The Thailand stage was Adon and Sagat. The England stage, it was Eagle and Birdie. So I think Geki's the odd one out, still left behind.
Yeah. Who was on the
I think with Geki, a lot of the issue is that when you look at
Gen and who?
Oh, Gen and oh god, who was on the China stage with him?
The very stereotypical Chinaman, whatever the fuck his name was.
Oh yeah, that guy. I have no memory of that dude. I do not recall what his name was. It's probably like Pow or Dong or whatever generic name they used for Chinese dudes around that time.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Okay, Geki, I don't know. Geki's in a space where, like, on one hand, he was a really generic ninja, so I could see him staying away because he was so generic. On the other hand, people like ninjas, even generic ones. You know? Pow / Dong / whatever. Street Fighter's got much better Chinese representation now than it did then.
Yeah.
Putting Pow or Dong next to Chun-Li or Fei Long would feel ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or, God, Yun and Yang.
I mean, wait. But Fong was a reimagining of that guy, I think. Because they wear the same sort of outfit.
But Fong again ran into, like, man, this feels really racist against Chinese.
But that
like,
would mean
this feels like one of those.
That would mean that we already have his replacement, though, the other guy. Because, like, we have Aki.
Yeah. Fong and Aki, not Aki so much. Aki feels like she's more tongue-in-cheek and like she's meant to be likable because she's sexy and weird and all that. Fong felt a little bit like, at the time I was looking at him and thinking of a Japanese dude saying, Rape of Nanking? Never heard of it. Which might be a overly intense reference to make in a fighting game podcast, but nonetheless...
I don't know.
All 5 of the viewers here, they're in for it. They know they are.
I don't know. I already made a joke about Cody becoming Trump. Like,
yeah. Well, we also talked about fighting games adding rapists deliberately.
Yeah, true.
This one's off the rails, brother.
I mean, to be fair,
that's how we set ourselves apart. There are no standards here. We talk about all kinds of nasty, fucked up shit.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't tell Yujiro Hama to Tekken 8.
No, we didn't. Nor did we add Ronaldo.
Yes.
Fucking Fatal Fury. Nor did we add Freddy and Homelander to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Which, come to think of it, in fairness, while I don't know the plot of The Boys very well, the show or the comic, my understanding is that Homelander actually is not a... No, wait, he is a rapist. Never mind. Actually, I take it back. I was about to say, my understanding is that the Deep is a rapist, but Homelander's not. No, I forgot Homelander raped... in the show, he raped Billy's wife, but in the comic, he didn't, because that was actually Black Noir. I don't know. I'm glad that show's over.
Yeah.
Bleh. Anyways. What was it?
You were talking about the weirdo pick.
Yes! God, Geki is in a weird space where, like, well, Street Fighter doesn't have a ninja that looks like that. Street Fighter has a bunch of ninjas, right?
Yeah.
Because we got Kimberly, we got Guy, we got Zeku, we got Maki.
We got Mai.
Hell, we got Mai. Shit, Street Fighter 6 alone has quite a bit of ninja representation. And we got Vega, which Vega's Spanish. Oh, he can't be a ninja. No, fuck you, Vega's a ninja. But either which way, Getsu I feel like the real issue with Getsu is I look at him and I don't think
you're mixing them up. You're mixing them together.
Oh God,
Geki and Retsu are becoming the same person.
They are
ninja with bushy eyebrows. Yeah.
Geki, I look at and I think, oh hey, it's Kage from Virtua Fighter.
Yeah. It's classic.
Like, I look at him and I just think of how inferior he is to like pretty well any of the ninjas from any of the 3D fighters. You know? Because like I'm also thinking of like Ryu Hayabusa. And like Ryu Hayabusa's way fucking cooler than like any of the chodes that we have just mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Retsu could be cool, but I'm partial to the like depraved monk archetype in fiction. I think it's a cool archetype, right?
Yeah.
Drunk monk that loves whores and fights not because like he's trying to reach some kind of internal discipline or whatever, but just fights because he thinks it's cool to throw hands.
Yeah.
Like that was an archetype that I thought was real cool when we were playing Power Instinct. Hell, that was an archetype that I thought was real cool when we were playing Hellish Court. That was a lot of fun. Of the drunk priest dude is like, yeah, he's a drunk priest with a longsword. Fuck it, why not? Oh boy. I mean, Retsu would be cool. Retsu would be a cool off pick. At the same time, Retsu's not like that much of an off pick because World Tour foreshadows him so much and is spending so much time going, man, ain't Retsu cool though?
Yeah. It's also a thing of like then they would need to like I feel like if they do that then they would need to retroactively change out the NPC Retsu that they made with the fucking Avatar creator and slot in actual Retsu.
Going to do that.
So
yeah, that is 100% what I expect. Like it would be kind of unusual if they didn't do that. Let's see, God. Other than that, for Street Fighter 1 picks, like Street Fighter 1 picks by now are divided up between the characters. It's like, yep, expected them to come back. Or alternatively, okay, you're going to have to give this guy an actual character because he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
I think Eagle is actually pretty close. Eagle and Maki, I think, are actually both pretty close to being totally unexpected because they've been gone for so long. And the only Street Fighter games that they were playable in was the portable ones.
Yeah.
At the same time, like Maki is not coming back in Street Fighter 6 because we have Mai. And like on top of that, we have Kimberly.
Yes.
If you were sitting there going like, man, what if Guy was a woman? What if Guy was girl? What if man was woman? Anyways, what if Guy was a woman? Congrats, that's already on the Street Fighter 6 roster. That's Kimberly.
Yeah.
God. I mean, they always could just go for a really surprising oddball off pick from some other Capcom work that isn't even necessarily a fighting game. Though even then, they have to ask the question of like, okay, we can't throw in Dante. He's too strong. We can't throw in any of the Resident Evil dudes. They use guns. We can't throw in Mega Man. He's from the future. I would not. Okay. We've already got Zeku as like the whole thing. Like, hey, look, Strider happens in the future. I would not be super shocked if they have not quite Captain Commando. If they have Lieutenant
We already have that.
Sergeant Commando.
That's Sea Viper.
No, it isn't. Fuck
yes,
you,
it is.
Isn't.
Yes, it is.
You say that because she does this. That it doesn't. It's not even the same function. She does the same.
She
animation
does.
for the. It's not Captain Corridor.
I mean, they're not gonna
anti-air.
They're not gonna give Captain Corridor to fucking anyone in Street Fighter.
They might, they could give just one character a really strong anti-air. Fuck it.
Like the Sea Viper is the closest we'll get to Captain Commando.
We'll see. But anyways, yeah, one of these picks, I'm just going to honestly I'm going to take the complete pussy answer and say that it could be just about fucking anything. I think it will stay within the realm of it being a martial artist with light superpowers at the very most. I don't see it being, I don't see it being Tifa. I could eat shit on that one. I know, because everybody thinks it's going to be Tifa. But I don't see it being Tifa. I don't see it being Sub-Zero.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Tifa for me is still like assuming that that leak is a bundle thing. Like if a part of it is true, then all of it is. Going off of that assumption, the rest of that season fucking sucks.
Yeah. What was that leaked season? Remind me. Tifa and who?
Vega, Goken, and Hagar. And like Hagar is cool. Goken, Vega is alright. But like, no one's buying a season pass for any one of these characters aside from fucking Tifa.
Yeah, like that. Tifa's there. Tifa would be a moneymaker. Vega would possibly be a moneymaker on just sheer basis of he's a world warrior, right? Well, he's not a world warrior, but he's a Street Fighter 2 guy.
Yeah.
And people like to have their Street Fighter 2 representatives in these games. Other than that, like Hagar, I love Hagar. I love grapplers and all that. But Hagar is a character that is largely forgotten by the gaming populace, I would say.
Yeah.
Goken is like a complete question of like what the fuck, really?
Yeah.
Like, this is a Street Fighter. We thought that the Street Fighter 4 character that needed to be redeemed was yet another Shoto. Do we not have enough good Shotos?
Yeah.
Are we not? Are like there are Shotos people want back, right? Because they could bring in Sakura or Dan, and people are like, hey, right?
Or Sean, yeah.
They could bring back Sean, and people were like, hey, Sean, fucking sweet, awesome. Goken's the Shoto that they bring him back, and it's like, what? Why? Yeah. And I like Goken.
I like Goken better in Xrd.
Well, aside from that, Goken, like, God, that's such a bad pick. I mean, I'd still buy because those are all 4 characters in some fashion or another I can get with. But I think I would consider that a bad lineup. I mean, hell, like when you look at that roster, there's also not a lot of visual variety. Half of that season would be old men.
Yeah.
Because Hagar's old, and so is Goken. And the one woman character will be a crossover character who's not from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I think part of that leak is just wishful thinking because Street Fighter 6 is a game with some very intricate fat and muscle physics systems that has notoriously resulted in the player base being very horny. And Tifa, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tifa is like top 3 most not safe for work fan-arted characters in like all of video games, if not number 1. Well, number 1's probably like, I don't know, Peach or Zelda or something.
I don't know.
I remember when that website came out that was like the gimmick was, guess which character has more not safe for work
Rule 34 rule.
Yes. My memory was that Rule 34 will like everyone came away from it going, oh my god, Tifa's the right answer to every question.
I mean, it was like, it was 3 things. It was Tifa, it was furries, and it was cakes, like cookies.
Oh, right, there was some weird thing about people wanting to fuck cookies with that. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move away from whatever that was. Oh, boy. God, other than that, let's see. So yeah, I'd make one hard pick of just like, yeah, it's gonna be some weirdo that's gonna be way off the wall. It's gonna be either a Street Fighter 1 character coming back, or it's gonna be a character appearing from another Capcom franchise that you didn't anticipate.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm gonna say Vega. Vega's just the easy answer.
Character from another Capcom franchise, Jotaro Kujo.
Ha! They could maybe fit in like part one. Who's the JoJo from part one?
No one's buying for Jonah 10. No one. Like
Yeah, but it's
Joseph.
a JoJo character that wouldn't be too out of place in Street Fighter, relatively.
Joseph would be a better fit because Jonathan uses a sword and has a stretchy hand.
Okay.
But like
Eh.
Jonathan is like Carlos Miyamoto tier in fitting into the universe. So like they could do it, but like he feels weird. Joseph would be a better fit because his thing is like throwing fucking bolas and stuff like that. And that makes more sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also feel like that would be playing their hands like too early. Like I feel like if they add a JoJo character, they're also gonna add. I nearly called her Lisa because that's the better character, Rose.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be shocked if Street Fighter 6 wraps up without Rose being there.
Yeah, it depends on how much they want to suck up to Kenny.
I don't know if I would necessarily say it's specifically just for Kenny. I think that Kenny's happy already. They already gave him a fucking paycheck at the very least. I think the thing is just simply that they like Rose
For some reason.
for some reason. Exactly. Like, neither of us get it, but we don't have to get it. We're not the target audience.
Yeah.
The target audience is a mirror.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be more fine with Rose if she actually played like Lisa and was more like Rekka's and Kung Fu using the whatchamacallit,
Yeah.
the thing. Yes.
Heh.
The scarf, there we go, that's the word. Like
Yeah.
if she was more like that, then sure. But as she is, no.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Vega's the easy pick out of the Street Fighter 2 guys. Like, maybe Fei Long, maybe. Rog doesn't feel right. I don't know why. He just doesn't. Oh boy. And other than that, if the weirdo surprise character is a woman, I'll pick. I do think the time is right for Dudley, and I'm ready to eat shit on this one because every time that I say the time is right for Dudley, it turns out the time ain't right for Dudley. Dudley feels like he's a reverse Rose, right? Because like Rose, like Kenny Omega likes him, and Low Tier God likes him, and Capcom likes him. I don't think Rose is a character that anyone else really just kind of goes nuts for. I think you and I are unusual for disliking Rose so much, but I think most people are like, it's Rose, whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
Like conversely, Dudley is a character that pretty well always lands. People like him. It's an archetype that works. But Capcom's just kind of like, nah, when he's here, we won't treat him with much pomp and circumstance, and he's just not going to be here for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. For the women's side of the roster, Sakura. Yeah, Sakura's an easy pick, but Sakura, it's weird she's not here. Particularly as Street Fighter 6 has like shown so many of the characters aging. It seems like showing a Sakura who is unambiguously in her 20s would fit in very well, right?
I want them to announce Sakura, but she's an old woman. Like just granny.
Why?
Because it would be funny.
I mean, Chun-Li by now is presumably in her 40s, possibly even 50s, and has aged spectacularly. But yes. Yeah, Sakura now, Sakura's grandma. What?
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason.
Good lord.
It was just really funny for just Sakura in her 20s to just be a grandma, and then Chun-Li is there, 500-year-old woman, and then she looks fucking like 20.
Yep. Oh boy. Yeah. Other than that, let's see. If the surprise weirdo character is male and we need another woman, then who else would I expect? For more of a kind of off-color pick, let's see. I would say more of an off-color pick from Alpha or 3 or 4. So which 4? Oh, we've already got all the women from 4, don't we?
I think so.
Or 5. Okay, my pick for character would be either Falk and like tie in some new plot line with Ed, or alternatively, maybe Karin.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially if Sakura's in the same season pass, so that they can have Sakura and Karin both there and reignite the old rivalry. Because 5 didn't really talk about it that much.
Yeah.
As for who I want, that's a much simpler affair.
The gorilla.
I want Dudley. The gorilla, yes!
Psycho
Dude,
gorilla.
if that was Psycho Gorilla would be so delightful. They probably won't do it, but Psycho Gorilla would be so delightful. And that would be a shock. Which, in fairness, that could be the shock twist character is surprise. It's this character who's not been playable before, but has always kind of been around in the story, or was in the story of this game and that game, but no, just wasn't playable.
Yeah.
God, what if they... Okay, well, we already have, we're like, oh man, Ryu and Ken have good reason to hate Akuma because Akuma killed their master Goken. Street Fighter 4, surprise, Goken's actually still alive. What if Street Fighter 6 is like, oh, by the way, you know how Goken hates Akuma because Akuma killed their dad? Surprise, their dad's still alive. It's not Goken. It's fucking 120-year-old father of Goken and Akuma.
Yeah, and they called him Goten. I don't think that's correct. What the fuck was his name? It starts with Go, I'm pretty sure.
Well, Akuma's name in Japanese is Goki.
Yeah. Gotetsu.
Ah, okay. So if Gotetsu got added and he's like super ancient, they should have one of his intro animations be like Oro's there, but Gotetsu like shoves him out of the way and says, "Get out of the way, young man."
Yeah.
And Oro's just like, "What?"
Get out the way, and then Hiyashiro Senku's through the screen.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, to actually go back to who I want. Let's see. Dudley, Laura, Hakan, Sakura. There you go.
Yeah.
That's my picks for who I want. And it would be marketed entirely on basis of Sakura. Because Hakan and Laura, well, no, Laura can do a lot of work, but not until her 3D model comes out.
Yeah.
Well, like Hakan, I love Hakan. Hakan is anti-money. Like, that would have a lot of people going, like, I refuse to buy this out of protest. Get this fucking goofball out of my Street Fighter. And Dudley's cool, but I don't see Capcom trusting him to sell a season, you know?
Yeah.
It would depend a lot on Sakura.
That's honestly kind of how I feel about that leaked roster of like, I'm not sure if I want to buy that if it is real.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where it's like, well, I like Hagar.
I don't even have that.
No, like I like Vega well enough, but it's like honestly just pop them in like once every 3 months, maybe. Goken, yeah, it's kind of a cute idea. Tifa, I would just look at Tifa and I would just be like, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
You know how Terry and Mai came in? and it was, holy shit, these guys fit right in. It doesn't feel odd that they're here at all.
Yeah.
If they added Tifa, every time I'd look at her, I'd go, "You don't belong here. You shouldn't be here. You do not belong here. Go away."
Just completed fucking sundown town.
Yeah, gather up the anti-Final Fantasy racists.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right.
Well then, there's also the other topic you wanted to hit, I think.
Yes. This is the one that requires some depth and isn't just simply a mixture of speculation and, but I want it though.
Yeah.
So, oh, excuse me. Keats, former pro player, also prominently one of the developers behind Dive Kick, Killer Instinct Season 2 going forward, not Season 1. And also, God, what was that pro
Rumbleverse.
wrestling? Rumbleverse, there you go. Has released an hour-long video titled, correct me if I'm wrong here, Game Balance Isn't Real.
Yes.
So, have you watched it in its entirety?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me.
I mean, for my part,
what did you think?
For my part, a lot of that video was just what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. Like basically, it was giving credence to my opinions on game balance, more or less. Like a lot of that was just like, yes, this is what I've been thinking. It's really good to know that apparently there's like actual data that backs it up.
Yes, coming from a industry professional who is responsible for 3 games that are generally pretty well liked in terms of balance, even if Dive Kick was kind of, even if 2 of them were just modest successes and one of them was more or less a failure.
Yeah.
That's been argued about with Rumbleverse, like whether that was like a murder in the crib situation just because the publisher didn't like it to begin with. I don't know.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like it's a lot of very interesting points he hits in there. Like there's the immediate thing of it simply balance is not real, balance is just vibes, right?
Yes.
And that could be like the central takeaway from it for the player base, rather than because like a lot of this video is very clearly aimed at devs and not players.
Yeah.
And for players, I think that is the best takeaway from it is balance is just vibes.
Yep.
And that can be the answer to a lot of balanced talk online. And I saw some people in the YouTube comments bringing up amusing anecdotes, which the one, of course, is the classic. Oh god, what game dev was it that was working on a shooter? And in playtesting, the playtesters kept coming back and saying, this gun is way too underpowered. You need to buff it. It just sucks ass. And they went in and they just changed. They didn't change the stats of the gun at all. They just replaced the gun's firing sound effect with one that sounded bigger and heavier. And people came back and went like, man, it's great you buffed this gun. It feels so good now.
I don't know.
Forget what game that was. But there was also, do you happen to spy in the comment section the person mentioning the anecdote about the Pokemon trading card game balance issue with Snorlax?
Yeah.
So Snorlax was being suggested to be overpowered. And I guess this was early Pokemon, because I assume by now they've rapidly scaled outwards with ever many generations have come since. But nonetheless, it was being suggested that Snorlax was overpowered. Now, when they gathered this might have actually been the game, but either which way, with early Pokemon, it was being suggested that Snorlax was overpowered. And so they tried to gather statistics on it from Pokemon tournaments. And the statistics they gathered was that actually Snorlax only had a win-loss rate of 50%. a more or less 1-to-1 win-loss ratio, which is like spectacular, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: the
That's lie.
statistics that statistics was a lie. The reason that they reached that statistic is because every single player in the tournament had a Snorlax on their team.
Ah.
So Snorlax had a perfect 1-to-1 win-loss ratio because every winning team had a Snorlax on it, and every losing team had a Snorlax on it.
Yeah.
And when you look at Marvel 2 stats, I bet you like, oh man, the win-loss ratio for Cable and Storm and Magneto and Sentinel, oh, they're just about perfect. 50-50.
Yep.
Oh. Oh boy.
But yeah, like there we go. I found the word I was looking for earlier. Vindicated. That's how I felt watching the video. Vindicated.
Vindication!
Because there's like we've talked about game balance on this podcast a lot. We've talked about
Yes.
balancing in specific games, Street Fighter 6, For Honor. I think we've talked about balancing either in the For Honor videos or in this series. I forget, but like I
Yes.
kept saying, well, they should take this out or look at this or whatever. They should change something about this thing because it feels bad. And turns out that is actually how it's supposed to work. As in, like, that's genuinely a better way to put it than this is overpowered or underpowered.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's a very statistically difficult thing to prove.
Yeah.
It's the pretty well statistically impossible thing to prove. The thing is, you want it to be hard numbers, right?
Yes, and because like numbers also lie.
Yeah, but you want it to be.
Eh.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the hard numbers are actually reliable. They aren't. But you want it to be hard numbers, especially in a game development environment, because you want to be able to report to the publisher and you can want to be able to report to the corporate execs. We have to do this. Here's the numbers to prove it. Right?
Sure.
But the hard numbers have a difficult, like, hard numbers are not qualitative.
Yeah.
They are quantitative. I thought it was important that he got into the whole thing of like, even with the quantitative stats where you can go like, well, we can probably guess this character isn't doing too well because it has a very low pick rate. People just tend not to pick this character. There's a lot of cases where the character is still fine gameplay wise. People just don't pick the character because the character appeals to an archetype of player that is not very common, or the character just doesn't have an appealing visual design.
Or is Sombra.
Yeah. Or is Sombra and gets banned every match, yes. Which, again, tying back to Overwatch, he specifically was mentioning Symmetra.
Yeah.
And saying, like, talk about how Symmetra had a pretty low pick rate. And that was, thought to be like, oh, well, it's because Symmetra is underpowered. Or, well, it's because Symmetra is put in the support category, even though she's not a support character. She is a damage character who happens to be on the support side of the roster. Whoopsie doodles. And they put her through a lot of changes, and it wasn't what Symmetra players wanted. But it also did not make Symmetra players. Also did not make Symmetra popular with people who weren't playing Symmetra before.
Yeah.
And I thought that was rather interesting.
I mean, the even bigger thing is that after they changed her to her current version, it made Symmetra less popular with the people who were playing her already.
Yes. Like, it's one of those things that does get screwy about the statistics is that you can't account for the factors like this, right?
Yeah, I mean that's also why I like whenever we've talked about game balance before. That's why I've been suggesting that game devs don't focus on just the pro players or just the stats or whatever. You need to focus on everything. You need to assign values to the opinions, sure. But you need to listen to fucking Joe Schmo down the street saying, "Hey, I fucking hate fighting Ryu because he hits me twice and I lose 75% of my health." And you also need to listen to the pros going, "Man, it fucking sucks when I can't hit my two hit combo on the people and I don't kill them."
Yeah.
And you need to go, okay, how can I make Ryu be playable where, only one of these guys suffers and they suffer less?
Yes. Which was another thing Keats hit at one point, which is fighting games are a genre where inherently increasing one player's fun increases the other player's frustration.
Yeah.
And he discussed how, a lot of fighting games nowadays are like toning down combo length and toning down combo options and all that as an attempt to lower the frustration of the opponent player that's getting hit.
Yeah.
But inevitably, they will still get hit. And the part that is frustrating is getting hit and losing. But no matter what, it is inherent to the format of fighting games that there will be a player who gets hit and a player who loses. They can't both win.
Yeah.
And so you end up in a lot of these situations where they reduce frustration slightly, but reduce fun by a great deal more.
Mortal Kombat 11,
And
yes.
Yes. And this comes into the whole thing of accepting the possibility that your game cannot possibly be for everyone on the planet to enjoy all at once.
Yes. Which is like that. I mean, it's a thing of the numbers pulling one way and reality pulling the other. Because like this phenomena, the developers or the publishers or whoever is calling the shots when it comes to these things, wanting to appeal to literally everyone who was ever born, and the complications thereof. And
Yes.
that is just a plague upon the video game industry currently. Because
Yes.
you cannot make a game that appeals to everyone. It is physically impossible to make a game that appeals to everyone, and you need to account for the potential losses and go, okay, I'm fine with this. I want to make this.
Yes.
That is how you make product.
And like inevitably it is just part of game dev that at the end of the day, you're doing it for profit and you want to make the most money possible. So you do want the audience to be as big as possible. But there is a certain wrongheadedness about things of, first of all, handling things with the mentality of like, it's possible for us to have everyone's approval at the same time. You don't. And secondly, there is a wrongheadedness of it. Well, for another thing, there's a whole thing of like, okay, what about niche audiences? Niche audiences are willing to spend a lot of money on your product and they're willing to put up with more bullshit than a more, shall I say, tourist audience. Tourist not necessarily being used as an insult here. You and I both have franchises we enjoy, but we're only tourists about, right? And we just dip in for a little bit and we're like, yeah, I'm having a good time. And then we dip back out.
Yeah, and I'd also say that with niches, like if you're satisfying a specific niche, there's a non-zero chance that it blows up. And you want to be there. You don't want to make something in the niche after it blows up. You want to be there already. So, but that's just that's just me being dissatisfied with the safeness of consumer media.
Well, there's also the matter of trying to make things safer because of complaints. When at the end of the day, a lot of times a complaint is either going to come from a vocal minority, but more importantly, for Keats's point of reducing frustration, also reducing fun, is how many times is there an audience that request, like, okay, something fundamental to all forms of media is that the consumer does not know what the consumer wants. We talk about this in the pro wrestling threads a lot here on the Discord. If wrestling fans were in charge of wrestling, they would kill wrestling within a year, right?
Yeah.
The Jabroni Joe on the Twitters, on the forums for the various games, on the Discords, on the Reddits, on the Tumblrs, on the whatevers, going, I do not want to get hit by things. Nerf everything that is not thing I do. Yada, yada, yada. Would actively kill the game that he is asking for changes to be made on.
Yes.
And with that fun versus frustration slider, you have to also consider what is inevitably the big talking point of fighting games. For the last, 10, 15 years of, well, should we simplify for people that consider fighting games too complicated and all that?
Motion inputs.
And they get rid of motion inputs, homogenize character movesets, make it where characters are really only built into one archetype and can only do that one thing very effectively.
Yeah.
Remove and simplify systems, make the roster smaller so the players have to learn less matchups, make movesets smaller to make it simpler to learn matchups, yada, yada, yada. by all means, a lot of these things are things that certain fighting game fans do really enjoy. I have seen plenty of old head fighting game fans say that, like, they love Street Fighter 2 back in the day because they could learn, like, okay, I like to play Ryu. Here's what I do about Blanca. Here's what I do about Zangief. Here's what I do about Chun-Li. And I don't have to worry about also learning what I have to do about Kimberly and what I do about Jamie and what I do about Marisa and all that. I like a smaller roster so I don't have to remember so much, and I can master more movesets quick and master more matchups quicker. By all means, that's a valid take to have. But in terms of handling things for how the casuals view things, the casuals are not learning any of the matchups, for one thing. They don't care. They want to hit button. But furthermore, when you handle things from the perspective of casual does not like to get hit, casual does not like to get hit for big combo, casual does not like to have a big move set that looks scary.
I did all of you to assume that the casual gives a fuck about the moveset size.
Well, that's one thing, obviously. But it's another thing entirely that there are a lot of times that at the end of the day, people are fundamentally myopic. Yeah? Rules for thee, not for me.
Yeah.
And when you handle things, by all means, you can make Blanca fans very happy for about a month by nerfing everyone except Blanca and taking away everyone's movesets except Blanca. Blanca now is the only one that has an actual moveset. Everyone else gets gimped, right?
Yeah.
But even then, Blanca fans are just going to end up moving on in a month because they have no one to play against. Sometimes what people are asking for is something that would be extremely damaging to them. And they ask for movesets to be simplified because they don't like dealing with opponents that have complex movesets. But they do like playing as characters that have complex movesets.
Yeah.
And they ask, simplify, please. But then when the game is simplified, they go like, it's just missing some aura. Can't explain it.
Yeah.
And especially if they used to be the guy advocating for reduction of the game, simplification of the game, they're not going to say, oh, well, this went wrong because they simplified. No, because they don't concede defeat. People don't like to concede defeat. People don't like to admit they've ever been wrong. Yeah. It's when you measure that, the fun versus frustration side of things, and people don't consider it in terms of measuring fun versus frustration and how much of the fun is derived from something that causes frustration otherwise. They don't really put into consideration when they insist, reduce my frustration because I don't like to feel mad, I don't like to feel bad, I don't like to feel sad. They don't put into consideration then how much of the joy of the game they are also removing. And turning the game into something that they just kind of go like, it's okay, I guess. And then they put the game down forever.
Yeah, although this is like us talking about this specifically is really funny when you like in the light of like think about how many times we've had discussions about throw loops in Street Fighter 6, and I keep saying they should remove throw loops, and you keep saying now it's fine, and every time you play Street Fighter 6, I'm never hit with a throw loop, but you are.
That's the thing. That's a different dynamic there, right? Because that dynamic in particular is one where that is a friendship dynamic. That is in terms of, I don't do throw loops because I know you hate them. So I don't do them because I don't want you to have a bad time when we're playing together.
But see, like, I haven't been hit by throw loops online even in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. You and I both are going to view that through the fun, through that fun and frustration lens in different dimensions, of course. Because for you, it's a very simple affair of throw loops aren't fun for you. You don't like doing throw loops to people. That to you, it seems like the epitome of being boring. And really, I don't like doing throw loops to people because I also think that's incredibly boring. But I do view things through the lens. Admittedly, a large part of it just comes down to simply, I trust Capcom. Whether or not I should is a different question. But I trust Capcom, and Capcom seems to be pretty dedicated to the idea of, like, throw loops are just part of the vision. And it's like, okay, well, I trust the vision. Now, I've trusted the vision on everything else. I don't fully get the throw loop thing. I have a rough idea of why they think it's a good thing, but I don't fully get it. I think there's potentially other answers to drive parry being strong than just simply, throw loops.
Yeah, I mean, there was a video I watched recently that actually proposed a really good answer that isn't throw loops.
What's that?
So in KOF, in the older ones, and even probably still, specifically on Wake Up, there is like 6 frames of throw invincibility. That makes it so you cannot be throw looped.
Yes.
But otherwise, throws work the exact same way, and you can still be punched while you'll throw invincible and shit like that. So what if we just did that?
That was the guy who always has doom metal playing in the background of his videos, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Well, either which way, I've seen a lot of that guy's videos. He's like very focused on specifically old fighters. He's not very interested in talking about modern fighters. But either which way, I think the issue there, like, I think the thing here is like a lot of it is just going to be simply be what do we do about drive parries? Because if you make the person throw invincible on wake up, do you also make it where if they drive parry, then that suddenly no longer works?
I would assume so.
Like
Yes.
the wake up throw window doesn't work if they're on if they input drive parry.
Yeah.
In which case, I think that'd be fine. Like the way I view the only logical explanation for in my head for why throw loops still exist in Street Fighter 6 when they got removed in Street Fighter 5 is just simply that is what Capcom views as the counter to drive parry on wake up. But yeah, if they did do like what we were saying, whereas there's throw invincibility on wake up, but if you do drive parry on wake up, then you turn off the throw invincibility and you can be thrown on wake up, then yeah, I think that'd be a pretty logical way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, throw loops are like one of those situations where like I don't view it as fun, but I also don't really like get that pissed about it. So for me, it's like weighing very low on both the fun and frustration sides of the scale. For you, like obviously you really don't like throw loops, like in terms of doing them. You don't get throw loop very often, but when you do get throw looped, it's pretty annoying.
Yeah. I mean, usually in any fighting game that we play, online against other people, I don't get throw looped. Against you, it's usually command grabs, so like it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
yeah, well, command grabs generally in Street Fighter 6 don't allow you to go in on wake up for another.
True.
I will wait if I've knocked you down with a sweep and then try to go in for a command grab. But that's not quite throw loop territory.
Yes. And so that's my thing of like I don't think drive parry was ever as strong as throw loops would imply, and it has been nerfed. So to me, it's just like okay, so we've taken this thing, we've applied a nuke to it, or like it's like the other guy has an M16 and you're like okay, I'm gonna throw a nuke at you, and then the guy's M16 breaks, it takes out a Glock and you still have a nuke.
Well, quick question. They nerfed perfect parry. Did they nerf regular drive parry?
I mean, I'm not sure. I think so, yes, actually. I think there's more recovery on it now.
Okay. I think more than anything else, it's just simply they want to, like, even if drive parry otherwise is, like, total crap, I think they're more than anything, they just want to avoid the situation of drive parry being the universal answer to Oki.
Sure, I guess, but, like, it's... There's better ways. There's more ways that they could vary it up instead of just here's one universal answer.
I guess.
That and also just like grabs deal a lot of fucking damage in Street Fighter 6, like unreasonably so.
Grabs deal a lot of damage in every Street Fighter. That's kind of a Street Fighter classic right there. And there's some games where throws are like, do it. Mortal Kombat throws are like, yeah, I mean, they're there as the mix-up option, but they don't do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. What else? Well, that's the fun, frustrating. That's the throw loops discussion for the FGA. Tune in 2 weeks from now for where season 4 will be revealed, and our first question will be, man, which of these characters are you most hyped up for? And the second question will be, are they going to get rid of throw loops? And the answers that we give is I'll give the answer of I don't think so. I think Capcom's pretty dedicated to it, and you'll say, God, I hope so.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think so because they're not they're really dedicated to not rocking the boat at all.
Yeah, that's generally been their balance philosophy. Is like they're pretty happy with where where Street Fighter is. even if it's a situation where it's like, yeah, Mai is the living terror for most of the player base, it's like, yeah, we'll take it over the better the devil you know. It's funny though because it has resulted in people gooning over Mai less in Street Fighter 6 because now people just get mad when they see her.
Yeah. But yeah, like, you know, I think the problem with the way Capcom is rebalancing Street Fighter 6 is literally just like there is no response to any of the complaints.
Yeah, they have very solidly maintained the head in the sand, we are not listening to you mentality, which has the upside of not being immediately like, oh, people are complaining about this, nerf it now. But also has the downside that like the player base is just not trusting Capcom at all to actually like listen to anything or do anything about any of the complaints they have. It's just like Capcom's going to run the show however they want to run it, and if you got an issue with that, get fucked, buddy.
Yep.
And like, I'm fine with the way Capcom runs this show, but if you're rather emphatically of the view that Mai should not be anywhere near as strong as she is, and you're rather emphatically of the view that throw loop shouldn't exist, or that drive parry isn't drive parry cancel is not shouldn't be so important to combos, or whatever else you could have issue with, then yeah, Street Fighter 6 is gonna be one of those games where you don't get why everyone else is like, this game is amazing. You're gonna be like, no, actually it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And Capcom is not interested in hearing that. They do not care if you think it sucks. They're just like, nope, we're staying the path, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah. Though apparently, like we said this last time, I'm pretty sure, but like allegedly, there's more of a discussion in Japan as well over this. So maybe they'll start whistling. We'll see.
It could be. I got it. It's one of those. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's one of those notorious things that Japanese Street Fighter players classically consider Ryu underpowered at any given time, regardless of how strong the West considers him to be.
Not
Like that's
anymore.
a major motivator for what. Okay, because like my understanding was that was a major motivator for why Ryu is the way he is in 6,
He
where
is.
he just keeps getting stronger every patch, is because Japanese players kept going, no, he still sucks though, even though the West is like, please stop buffing him.
Yes, but from what I heard, they've realized that he is not too strong.
Okay.
Like he's still not as strong as Ed in their eyes, but you know, he went from being, you know, mediocre to like top 5. Something like that.
I see.
So some recognition.
Yeah.
Because I think the tops in Japan are Ed, Blanca, Maya Ryu or somewhere, I think, but they're less important than those two, definitely. I forget who's the 5th one that they consider strong. Probably JP.
Probably. JP ain't moving. Not unless JP gets smacked so hard with the Nerf hammer that he just can't be used.
Yeah.
JP is one of those characters that if he can do what he does properly, he will feel oppressive no matter what.
Yes.
Like, character design-wise, that is fundamentally just no oppressive character design.
Yes, like I on one hand, like I think that part of the reason that I don't mind JP as much as everyone else is that, like, well, for one, I like Ingrid. I'm fine with SNK characters in Capcom, but
yeah,
but also like whoever
I say JP's NRS level.
He could be, but yeah, like I don't know who at Capcom decided, hey, we should add Gunitz to Street Fighter 6 as the final boss, but.
Oh boy,
yeah,
he does
feel
that way sometimes. Yeah. Like the thing is, a scenario where people don't really get frustrated enough by JP to consider him top tier. The only scenario where that happens is a scenario where JP gets smacked so hard with the Nerf hammer that like an Injustice 2 Deadshot, where he just like, yeah, he's just garbage now.
Yeah, no, I think
no point in picking him.
I think the only way that people would consider JP not oppressive is if he actually, like, if they released patch notes and removed moves from his moveset.
Yep. Or made him so heavily telegraphed that it was just pointless, you know?
Yeah.
Some characters by nature are just, unless they have been made crap in a lot of ways, or someone else on the roster is more oppressive, a lot of characters are just going to sit at the top of the tier list because it's like, what, are you going to say this guy's not a pain in the ass to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't have to tell me I play Akuma.
Yeah. Like, unless the character has an answer that everybody figures out at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
Because like Honda is oppressive, but only for the low tier players. Like anyone else is like, yeah, just press this button, dude. Oh boy. Which that also came up in the Keats video. There's some characters that you have that problem with, of like the pros regard this character as like meh or even bad, while the casuals are like, this character is a nightmare to play against. Why is he allowed to be this way?
Yeah.
And the way Keats put it is like, yeah, you can try and work it and swing it in such a way to make the character better in the eyes of the competitive community while also nullifying what is making him such a nightmare for the casual community. But there's only so much you can do while still, I mean, there's just only so much you can do in general. Because no matter what, if the character presses buttons, there's going to be a substantial amount of the casual player base that's like, yeah, this character's a nightmare to play against. And there's going to be a substantial amount of the hardcore player base that's like, nah, he's not actually that good. He's kind of, guys, I'm thinking he's actually kind of overrated. I think he's like, nobody's talking about, but he's kind of trash.
Yeah.
Right? Because you will get, plenty of that going on where people, there are people that play Street Fighter and they're playing against the most dog water bland generic character. Like, who's the most dog water bland generic, perfectly predictable, everything's telegraphed character you can think of for Street Fighter?
In general or 6?
In general.
In general.
Because I would probably just go with like Alpha Ryu.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eagle, but in any event, it's not Alpha, honestly, because like he's very not great in everything that is not Alpha, but in the collection version of Alpha specifically, they didn't actually port his Alpha version. They just took him from CVS and dragged the files over to Alpha, which means which means that he has better frame data than he's supposed to. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Well, it's not the frame data actually; it's his reach. I think that is the problem, where he has longer reach than you would think for Alpha.
Yeah, because Alpha's a very stubby game.
And so yeah, turns out when you have CVS2 reach in Alpha, you go from being like low tier to being at least middle.
Yeah.
So like he's still stronger than the regular Alpha cast, but he's also worse than basically everyone else they added, I think.
Yeah, T-Hawk and Alpha Upper. By the way, in case you didn't know, sucks colossal asshole.
But yeah, he's T-Hawk.
And not just in the usual T-Hawk way of like, wow, I'm sick of this fucking guy. But like, his command grab range, even his super grab range, is shorter than any other character's like basic throw range.
Nice.
It's rough, dude. Nonetheless, when you have a character that is just as dog water as possible, you're still going to get people saying, you're still going to get casual players saying, this character is too strong, nerf him, I hate fighting this guy, he's way too powerful, I hate it. Right? Because they're going to run into people that know how to play the character and they're going to rinse him.
Yeah.
There are going to be people, casual players, going 12 is too strong, nerf him. Because, I mean, look at that air maneuverability, man.
Yeah.
How can he not be strong, right? And conversely, you encounter playing Marvel 2 players going like, man, Sentinel's not very good.
Yeah.
It happens, you know?
Yeah.
There is no pleasing everybody. And there is no displeasing everybody for that matter either. You can make the most abominable character imaginable. There's always going to be somebody who's such a saint of patience. They're like, yeah, he's not that bad to play against.
Yeah.
Look, I can press this one button.
I'm just trying to imagine the down players if they added someone like Rare Akuma to SF6.
Yeah! Look, there's a gap here in this string. If you press this button, you can hit him. So you just have to wait until he does this move.
I genuinely do not think there is a string in Hirakuma's moveset where there is a space where you can hit him. Like the space where you can hit Hirakuma is if he drops a combo somehow, which is very difficult to do, and, and like if he hasn't pressed a button. Those are your two chances.
The trick is you got to be talking to someone who has played against one rare Akuma played by their buddy who didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, it's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, that fun versus frustration scale, I think, is a very interesting way to visualize things, right?
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of fun versus frustration scales, and the weights are different depending for each scale, right?
Yeah.
And even within, like, not just comparing fighting games to shooters, right? Because, like, when you compare fighting games to shooters, there's the different fun versus frustration scales. Because the shooter player is going to have less frustration on I got killed with one move than the fighting game player, right?
Yeah.
Because in shooters, you just get your head just gets blown off sometimes. That's just how it happens, right?
Yeah.
Conversely, the shooter player is probably going to have his frustration scale is going to be much higher for having control taken away from you.
Yeah.
Fighting game player is like, that's what happens. I'm getting comboed, whatever. Shooter player is like, what? I can't press the buttons and do anything? Anything? And the fun scales are going to differ, right? Because the shooter player is probably going to go like a variety of choice of play style. And that's not going to be too important for the shooter player. The shooter player is probably going to be coming from some game where it's like, I mean, there are some shooters where it's like, yeah, every gun's viable, or at least every gun feels good. But there's also a lot of shooters that are very popular.
Yeah, by the op.
Where it's like, what'd you say?
By the op.
By the op, exactly. Several Call of Duty games where just get the dual shotguns. Just get the dual shotguns and start diving like a maniac.
Allegedly, from what I heard, Counter-Strike is currently so bad about by the op that they actively nerfed whatever gun. Like they didn't buff it, but there was some gun that was getting traction, and they nerfed the gun so it wouldn't get traction.
Yes, Counter-Strike is weird because, like, the actual Valve philosophy is they honestly just want some guns to be better and some guns to be worse because of the money system. And it's so weird when you compare to any other shooter, right?
Yeah.
Like, the op is supposed to be the gun that's like, if you have too much money, just buy the op. Like, don't buy anything else. Nothing else is worth it. The op is explicitly I have kicked so much ass and collected so much money, I buy the op.
Yeah.
And it's weird when you look at Call of Duty or Battlefield, and it's like, yeah, you go the sniper rifle if you want to roll this play style, you go with the pistol if you want to roll this play style, yada yada yada. Like, for shooter fans, that's going to be not as big of a thing of like, yeah, it's neat that they have different guns that are both viable, but let's be real here. It's not that important to just how good the game feels. Conversely, fighting game fans, no, that's something pretty important to a lot of fighting game fans. Marvel 2 is the odd duck for it being the one that's like everybody's kind of fine with the fact that only a very limited amount of the roster is viable.
I mean, I'm not, but I'm also a tournament player, so
no,
I experience less of it. So
Yeah, Marvel 2 is obviously one of those games that is an entirely different experience for the casual player versus the hardcore player. Because for the casual player, like, yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be talking, oh, well, Rush sucks, but that's about it.
I mean,
Even
there's a couple
decent for a casual player.
There's a couple characters that are just straight up bad to everyone.
Oh yeah,
was like, Surfbot, Roll, those are bad for everyone, literally. And then you get to the bottom characters where it's like, where they're not bad, but they're also not good enough to really put up with even the like mid-tier characters. And that's where you get like Zangief and Akuma.
Yeah. Geef's got tech, because Geef's got air lariat. He's not helpless, but it's not great.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, yes.
Oh, boy.
Like, he's not Surfbot, but he's also not like, I don't know, fucking uh, Strider, you know?
No, no, yeah, Strider's in that. Strider's in the hyper weird case. Like Strider is actually super good in one specific team up. Oh boy, that either which way to circle back to it, trailed off there on the comparing fighting games to shooters bit, but comparing fighting games to fighting games, you're going to get into that, right?
Yeah.
Because just sticking within character viability, playstyle viability, that is going to be a big comparison point from, let's say, the far end of I want a wide variety of playstyles and I want them all to be playable. Guilty Gear XX and Guilty Gear Xrd.
Yeah.
I want every character on this roster to feel wildly different from each other, and I want them all to be good. Complete opposite end from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. There's a very limited roster of characters that are actually good. It's a massive roster of characters, but only a very limited selection of them are any good. And on top of that, generally speaking, a lot of those characters are playing very similar ways because Marvel 2 just favors certain things. All those characters are going to have some degree of zoning because Marvel 2 is just a very zoning-friendly game.
Yeah.
Marvel 2 is also a very movement-heavy friendly game because out of those characters, Storm and Magneto are both 8-way air dashers. Sentinel has flight still. Cable is only that strong because, like, Cable would be, like, down there with Captain America and Iron Man in terms of, well, not Iron Man, excuse me. Iron Man's also super strong. But Cable would be down there with, like, Captain America and Hulk and Juggernaut in terms of, like, does a neat thing or two, but isn't very good if it weren't for Air Hyper Viper Beam.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have 8-way air dash. Like, come on. Iron Man doesn't have as crazy zoning as most of the four gods, but he almost does make it up there to being one of the four gods, to the point that some people call him the fifth god, because he does have solid rushdown, and he has a great infinite combo, and he has 8-way air dash.
Yeah.
And that can differ so much from game to game. Because how much frustration do you derive from getting comboed for forever? Well, that's going to make a big difference in terms of, okay, how, like, do you want, I don't know, what's the least combo heavy fighting game series where it's just like combos are extra tiny?
I mean, Samsho is the obvious one, but Samsho, the more you go into Samsho, the more combos exist. But still not like
Yeah.
big combos, but still combos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something that has even less than that. But like then you go into the niches of like dive kick.
Yeah, well, dive kick legitimately can't have combos.
Yeah.
You hit somebody the one time, dead. That's it.
I guess Samsho will have to do like Samsho 2, say, because I think Samsho 1, like who even plays Samsho 1? Samsho 2, I think doesn't have that much combo, and still has the footsie stuff. Samsho 5 is when it's like, all right, here's Enja, he does combo. Everyone else, you get like maybe a 3-hit one at most.
Yeah.
and then Enja for being able to do combo has nothing else. He can only do combo.
Yep. Now, if you conversely are like, yeah, I don't mind being stuck in a long combo, suddenly it's not going to seem so nightmarish that Marvel vs. Capcom at several points is like, okay, you got poked. Go put down the controller, go make a sandwich.
Yeah. Go and bake a pizza from scratch.
Yeah. How much do you value combo variety? All right.
Yeah.
That's going to be another one. Because Marvel's also going to do pretty poorly on that front. Marvel, it said that game has been cracked open, figured out. Everybody knows the optimal character combos. And like for a lot of them, it is bounce, rebounce, bounce, rebounce. Comparative to, let's say, Guilty Gear, where, there's a lot of combos per character, and, this one gets better Oki, this one gets better damage. Or, Uni and Melty, which have it fundamentally built into the systems, you have to get different combos out of lights, mediums, and heavies that are going to offer you different possibilities. And even with to go back to Marvel, even in terms of like not just the rhythm and what you're looking to get out of the combo are very samey. But Marvel, the starters for every combo are going to be very samey because like you're gonna start with a light. Why would you start with something other than a light?
And then there's also the new edit thing of the manner of controls, because there's a game that I saw recently that I was interested in. It's a small indie game. I forget the name of it, but it looked interesting. And then they were like, "Oh, big combo." And I went, "Oh, cool, big combo game in current year." And I watched the trailer further. Modern controls.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, like, if we use the video's terminology, the big combo is like, I don't know, 10 kilos of weight. And modern control of fun, and the modern controls is like 50 kilos of frustration.
Oh shit! News just came out while we're playing.
Oh shit!
While we're talking.
What's up?
The outfit 3s for the season 3 characters have been revealed.
All right,
I'm shooting the link
All
over
right,
to you now.
And I'm doing that. Yeah.
Shit, hang on. Gotta send it to you and not to Soon or Mike. Send it to you through Steam or Stoom.
Okay. I'm watching it. Okay. Sagat has his touch. Oh shit! That's an entire outfit they gave her. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, the Sagat's
that Alex
suit
costume looks like shit.
I'm not seeing it yet. I'm still watching Sagat beat himself. Sea Viper, Wingfield like this, I think.
Yeah, not as much cleavage as you would want, but you know.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yep, that sucks. All right.
Yep.
And yeah, so the Signet outfit was a reference to her getting hit by Midnight Bliss.
Yes, I see that in the comments. Someone saying that if Dimitri does the Midnight Bliss tour in whatever games they happen to share, she looks like that.
Yeah, Capcom Fighting Gem. And then in Alpha, and later, when you kill someone with the Taco Bell Super with her level 3, she would put this on as her win pose.
Oh, okay. That's just her party celebration attire. She just throws on a bikini and a skirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a top hat.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe they'll bring this back. I guess they did it, but more so than I thought.
Yeah. She looks like a Vegas stripper.
Kinda, yeah. She used to have a rod with a star on it, I think, like a magic rod. So I think that's the idea.
Yeah, that would make sense. Sagat's suit looks great. Sea Viper's dress, I could go either which way on. It looks all right if you specifically want to dress. I imagine Pink's actually going to avoid it because it's not really got a lot of TNA action going on, and that a large part of why Pink plays Viper is because he finds her sexy.
Yeah.
That Alex costume is fucking terrible.
Yep.
They continue the long-running history of only coming up with fugly designs for Alex.
I mean,
don't know what
it's the usual problem. We wanted to put the sports outfit into this martial arts.
Yeah, but even then, like, could they not come up with something a little less fugly? Because, like,
you've seen Luke's design, you know the answer is no.
It's shorts and the loose crop top.
But yeah, because he's gay.
Can work. Yeah, I was about to say it can work on chicks, but it doesn't work on dudes. Like,
no, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. Gay people, like gay men, do wear that outfit. I just don't think Alex is gay.
Okay, on one hand, I'd prefer that they reveal that actually the only reason him and his little sister got married is to hide the fact that Alex is gay, and that's not Alex's baby either. I would take just about any retcon to suddenly reveal that
It's
Alex is not fucking his sister.
it's Tom's.
But it would feel really pretty goofy if the two most prominent pro wrestler characters of Street Fighter are both gay men.
Yeah.
And like Marisa is going, doesn't anyone around here like women? And then like you cut in like an extra squished frame of Armika.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, hey, news drop while we're recording. How about that shit?
Yeah. Usually it happens after, so I'm happy.
Yeah. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is a hell of a time to drop news.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad Sagat and Ingrid both got cool costumes. I do like that look for Ingrid, even though it does make her look a bit like a Vegas stripper. It's still a neat costume.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a
Viper
bit.
could go either way.
I thought like back in Alpha, or back in original whatchamacallit, appearances. I thought it was like kind of out of character and whatever, but like by now I'm used to it. So
Yeah,
and like it's one of those things where like if they can make up some fucking reason for why she dressed like that, like she just finds it funny or whatever, sure, I'll go along with that.
yeah. It reminds me a little bit of Lilith's old super, the dance super from Darkstalkers, where she switches into a costume like that and starts dancing up and down with a cane.
Yeah.
All right, well, ooh, we were focusing a lot on the frustration versus fun scales. What was something else from that Keats video that in particular struck you of like, oh, this is a good insight. This is a good way to put it. Because
Hmm.
obviously a lot of the thoughts going on in that video are thoughts we've had before, but sometimes it takes someone else to actually put it into words properly that you can convey your thoughts. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I
Some of them
felt.
are just entirely new thoughts. I'll admit there are things that Keat was talked about there that I just was like, oh, I never thought of that. That's smart.
See, for me, like I don't know if there were any like particularly like very new thoughts about this stuff, but a lot of it felt like him putting into words the things that I felt for a long time.
Yeah.
But I also feel like we've hit the most of the things that immediately stick out to me. That he said about stuff like that, because like the one really big sticking point to me that you know is one that we just talked about more or less, where he says that there will be characters and there will be gameplay mechanics, there will be situations where casuals will say one thing and then pros will say the exact opposite, and it is on you, the game developer, to figure out who you want to upset more or less.
Yeah, that's a dire way of phrasing it, but it is accurate. Like, yeah, there's some situations where, like, no call is going to make anyone happy, but you just got to pick which group of people you're fine with making upset.
Yeah. And like that was, it's one of those things where like he very successfully collected a lot of just random thoughts that I've thought about shit like this, and put it out into the world. And he actually has provenance. Like he has a pull because he has experience working in games. So maybe
Yes.
people will listen. Whereas if I said any of these, people would go, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a history of working on games that people have enjoyed playing and respected the balance of.
Yeah.
I will say there are some things. It's one of those things where game design fundamentally differs, and so some things just can't properly be compared. But when he was talking about like combo differences and wanting different things out of your combos, and he cuts to KI 2013, I was thinking like, well,
Yeah.
Keats, in fairness, KI combos work very differently from any other fighting games combos.
They also depend
KI
depending on the.
combos are almost a mini game.
Yeah. But that's what I was gonna say. Like KI combos, I mean, depending on the combo, obviously, but like if it's using just the default system of combos, then KI combos all look the same.
Right, gameplay-wise, they're shooting for different results, and they have different possibilities. But visually speaking, they all look the same,
Yes.
except for what's the word? Manuals. Manual
Yes.
combos, they actually can get pretty high in variety. I used to have some wacky manuals I'd do with TJ combo for fun back in the day. But what was I going to say? Oh, one thing. Speaking of KI, that I thought was interesting was him out and out saying like, "Yeah, we knew Saberwolf was one of the easiest characters in the game to play. We knew that Arya was the hardest character in the game to play, and so we did intentionally design that Arya. When you look at pure numbers, pure stats, Arya is better than Saberwolf." And we figured this was balanced because at the end of the day, the Saberwolf player doesn't have to work as hard to get the results out of Saberwolf that the Arya player does. And he did not explicitly say this, but I think this is interesting from the mental stack perspective. Mental stack is something I always find very interesting from a game design perspective. How much do you consider that an element of difficulty? How
Yeah.
much do you consider that an element of multiplayer balance? When there is something that is legitimately, like, statistically speaking, you can't measure frustration or confusion or things like that. But it becomes relevant for characters. This character just has to keep track of more bullshit. And that is an inherent disadvantage, even if statistically they are going against a character who is worse in every way. They can still have a major disadvantage for how much bullshit they have to keep in mind, because this means they are going to make slip ups because they are busy thinking about what they're doing, whereas the other guy gets to play by feel a lot more.
Yeah.
And so I think that's interesting to openly acknowledge Saberwolf is an easier character to play that isn't as good as Arya, because it is an advantage to Saberwolf that he does not have as much ridiculous bullshit he has to go on off of keeping track of things with like Arya. And I remember when I was playing KI 2013, I picked up Saberwolf and I was like, okay, this guy's not got a lot of broken bullshit, but this character just feels good and there's not a lot of really complex stuff going on here. This is more or less you get what you see on the label.
Yeah.
And that's really satisfying. Comparative to Arya, who I was like, okay, there's a lot going on here. I'm never going to investigate this character. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Arya has to keep track of 3 characters at once.
I remember.
And like, yeah, Marvel, that's like, yeah, that's fine. That's what everyone does. KI doesn't work that way. Oh boy. God, and the KI examples, they kept on rolling. The also addressed with Gargos the portal punches of like, okay, well, obviously this move was a nightmare for casuals. Hardcore players didn't care because they knew the counters to it, but casual players didn't know. And there wasn't really an obvious way, to counter it. We couldn't make an obvious counter to it. And at a certain point, after nerfing it a few times, we kind of just had to go like, yeah, this move's just going to piss off casuals. That's just the way it is. But we aren't really interested in making it so crap that it's irrelevant at the casual level. We're just going to accept that it pisses off casuals, and that's it. That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Now, on some level, a fighting game has to handle zoners always like that.
Yep.
Because zoners are the classic archetype that will always piss off casuals. And you can see with Street Fighter, they just kind of accepted, like, yeah, JP's going to continue to make casuals mad. We don't care.
I mean, JP is making the pros mad, and they deserve it too.
Yeah.
So,
Gosh. For both of those examples, like, what's a fighting game you can think of where you can distinctively point to? Well, for one thing, an instance of a hard character that nonetheless you feel like they actually nerfed the hell out of them because they didn't understand, or because their mentality was like, even statistically, we don't want the hard characters to be better than the easy characters. We want it to just simply be, you chose the hard character and you're having a hard time, but you're not really going to be rewarded for it. You just chose to play the hard character. Get fucked, buddy.
okay, I forget. I'll be limiting this to fighting games because I have a very easy answer here.
Well, I would say we don't have to limit this to fighting games because Keats' video, while it's focused on fighting games, has a lot of stuff that is very applicable outside of the fighting game genre.
Okay, well then, one game where there's not one, many characters were hard or harder to do than other, or to play as than other characters, while receiving no real rewards. Is Overwatch?
Yeah. Overwatch, I don't. The thing is, we don't have Pink here. Pink's the turbo expert on Overwatch.
Yeah.
So all you and I have to go off of is just purely the vibes, right?
I mean, the vibes, other people's opinions, and like just stuff like that. There's some data, like it's whatever
Yeah.
data is released to the public.
But like you and I going off of vibes, I don't know about you, but I vibes wise feel Overwatch is in a much better place today than it was 2 or 3 years ago, right?
I don't remember how it was 2 or 3 years ago. Honestly, it kind of feels the same. Like the only major difference between Overwatch now and Overwatch 2, when we played that, is that in Overwatch 2, because for the vast majority of Overwatch 2's lifespan, it was 6v6 instead of 5v5, Hammond was playable. Whereas with 5v5, Hammond loses his shield, or there's another tank, just have them do the actual tanking stuff.
That's going to be a huge change that's going to be more effective for you than for me, because I never really dipped into Hammond other than a little bit of just messed around when he released.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, Hammond's a big character, so when something meta-wise happens that hits Hammond, you're going to be suddenly feeling that the game is a lot worse.
Yes. And like to me, as an intermediate Hammond player, because like I'm not particularly great with him. I'm not the worst, because I could just be jumping into the enemy team and dying every time and not learning from it at all. And instead, that only happens like 25% of the time. But there are worse Hammond players. There are better Hammond players than me. So I'm at the right spot where Hammond, where my skill with Hammond isn't able to carry him to the point where he becomes an unkillable monster. But the way he's been nerfed to stop those people affects me so much that I can't play the game when I play as him. Like nine games out of 10.
Yeah, that's a whole issue right there when like the character has been whacked. Like he brings up Keith brings up the example that's been brought up before in interviews of Jago was considered OP because of the healing.
Yeah.
They nerfed Jago by not whacking the healing, but by whacking his heavy kick or his Tatsu.
Yeah.
People going, "What the fuck? You didn't do what we asked for." But in the end, it more or less works out. There are conversely going to be the times where they are trying to nerf specifically what is making a character a problem in competitive, but is not really a problem in casuals. And sometimes they just instead do the complete opposite. And the character is still very, very strong and competitive, but casually it's like, well, now he's garbage.
Yeah.
If Pink were here, I would ask him like dedicatedly, what is it that's good at the competitive level about Hammond? Because that shocked the hell out of me when he said like, no, Hammond's actually still really good at the competitive level. He just sucks at lower ranks.
I mean, that's the thing though. Hammond is also good at lower ranks as long as the enemy team doesn't know how to counterplay him. But
is there no one that Hammond can have on his team that counters the counterplay to Hammond?
Oh, the way to counter the counter picking with Hammond is to switch to someone else.
Right, but is there not like where Hammond can ask one of his teammates, please play this character on damage or support so that I can
Not
play
really,
Hammond?
no.
Really? There's not like, because like, what tanks are considered counter to Hammond?
It's not tanks. That's the thing. It's support characters and damage, largely.
Ah, okay. Right. Well, Hammond. Yeah, I guess Hammond. Part of Hammond's whole thing is skipping over the enemy tank.
But like the biggest counter that I remember currently to Hammond is Mizuki, because Mizuki just roots him, and basically anyone else who can root Hammond is a counter pick to Hammond. And like the only person who can help him in those situations is Kiriko. But
Kiriko, also, it's one of those things where like you're praying for the damage players on your team to do their job and kill the supports.
Yes.
Which in and of itself becomes a problem when the enemy tank is doing a very good job of babysitting the supports.
Yes. And like this used to be less of a problem before the nerfs hit Hammond, because back then he had more shields when he activated his shield thing. So basically you could, and he also, if memory serves, reloaded when he went into ball form, which was a major thing that they seemingly removed from what I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
And what that meant is that you could go into ball form, jump into the middle of the enemy team, enable your shields, shoot like maybe a guy, or like get them down, a couple of hits. You're not gonna kill someone immediately unless the enemy team is actually scrambling. But like if even if they're focusing on you proper, then you'd be able to damage someone while running away for like a second or two, then turn into ball and run away. Now,
Yeah.
what happens when you try to do that is you go in, you drop down, you enable the shields are gone, you are dead.
Yes. Shields in general have been nerfed across all tanks in Overwatch in
Yes,
the last few years, and it shows.
and every part of Hammond's kit feels like this because like the shields are worse because they now take less damage before breaking. His guns are worse because he deals less damage now. He also doesn't reload when he goes into ball form, so that means that that means that sometimes you're just caught without a clip, or without bullets in your clip, and it just really makes him feel really bad when you're not on a roll with him. And getting into the groove of being on a roll with him takes time and effort, and it also takes the enemy team to forget who the counters are to Hammond, or just suck with those characters.
Do you think possibly that when Pink says that Hammond's still pretty good at the competitive level, the higher ranks, do you think that Pink is like just kind of wrong because Hammond's not a character that he's going to be paying a lot of attention to?
No, because he's not the only one I've seen say that, and I think the reason for that is that a lot of Hammond's stuff is also movement tech, and if you get really good with the movement tech, then you can survive a lot more with Hammond. But it's kind of like footsies in fighting games that way, where you need to know and learn the ranges of how far you can get hit. You need to learn how much you can go in. You need to do the fucking Tekken shimmy of going back and forth. You need to know when to run away and how to run away with Hammond, to not die. And that's all just actual built up skill that you need to have with Hammond. So, like, I don't doubt that at high level Overwatch, Hammond is actually viable and even really good. Because I would assume that high level Overwatch players who want to play Hammond would already have the skills built up to be able to pull off all of these fucking Spider-Man combos and shit with him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. But that still means that at lower levels where you don't have that skill, he is nigh unplayable unless the enemy team is baby seals.
Okay. Now, what's one game instance you can think of that in particular you would like to highlight in terms of this character is much more difficult to work with, but you do just like statistically speaking, you do just get better rewards out of the easy out of it than you do out of the easy characters.
There's a very easy answer here.
Shoot.
Akuma. Akuma is
Yeah.
Akuma is this character.
Yeah, Akuma's a funny one where it's honestly like, well, if you're really great, then yes, he'll just crush it in like the most incredible fashion possible. But it's not just that he has to keep track of a lot of bullshit and he has to remember a lot of stuff and he has to fine tune his timing on a lot of maneuvers. It's also you don't want to get hit.
Yes.
Because if you get hit, he explodes.
Yes.
If
And
Akuma gets touched, he does the Mega Man death animation where he just turns into particles that spread outwards.
yeah. I mean, currently, if Street Fighter 6, if Akuma gets touched, he just breaks like porcelain.
Yeah. He shatters like glass.
Yeah.
Plays the stock pot break sound effect.
Yeah. And then after that, it plays the ending from CVS2, the one where they don't merge.
Yeah. JP just steps over little pieces of shattered Akuma.
Yeah. Do you remember the other ending of CVS2, the one where they don't merge?
I don't know any endings of CVS2, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
I've never beaten the arcade mode in that game.
Okay, well, in one of them, in the one where Rugal kills Akuma and takes the Satsui no Hado, Rugal's body cannot handle the Satsui no Hado, and he turns into tall Akuma. That's not a joke. And then, and then in the other ending where Akuma kills Rugal, Akuma dies fighting you, and he's really happy. And then the Orochi power or something like that makes a tornado around Akuma, and the voices tell him you cannot die.
Wow, sounds like Akuma got glazed a little bit harder than Rugal here.
Yeah.
Though, granted, of course, both serve very different roles in the plot. Because Rugel's not a sympathetic guy at all; he's just an asshole. So it's more satisfying to see him come to a bad end. Whereas Akuma's got some nuance.
Yeah. And that's why I keep saying, like, if CBS3 is happening and if they are continuing the story and shit like that, I want to see what the fuck happened with Talakuma. Because like, imagine, like, even if it's just a reference, imagine if English shows you like an alternate universe and one of them is Talakuma. Just a drawing of him.
Yeah.
Which, like, imagine Akuma with range, with Rugal's range.
Oh, I didn't.
Right? But yeah, aside from him, aside from the obvious, let's see. I mean, I can also shout out. I'm trying to think about it, but some of the examples that come to mind are games where I don't have enough experience to be able to say for sure that that's what they're doing. Fuck it, I guess I'll shout out DMC. Because with DMC, you can stick to, like a handful of moves and still do damage and shit. Or you can get used to style switching, and you can get used to switching your weapons on the fly, and then you'll deal like 5 times as much damage.
Oh yeah, yeah. By all means, like Nero is still a very good character in Devil May Cry, but once you start get down like the weapon switching, Dante and Virgil are way stronger. And once you get down style switching, even Virgil's kind of not great compared to Dante. Dante, once he gets crazy with the style switching, is just capable of stuff that the rest of the roster isn't allowed to do.
Yeah.
And this is coming from the fact that like Virgil is notoriously considered overpowered in every game where he's playable.
Yeah.
No matter how much they amp up the rest of the roster, Virgil always shoots ahead. All right. All right, I'm going to throw out an oddball question here.
Yeah.
So there's fighting games where like both the fun and frustration sides of the scale are very low for you, right? Or it's like, I mean, the game exists, whatever, sure, all right.
Yeah.
What's a fighting game you can think of where both the fun and the frustration scales are pretty heavy?
I mean, Guilty Gear would be a good answer, but that's not true. Like,
yeah, I think it's generally fair to describe how that is how it is for most fighting gamers, but I don't think that's actually true for you. I don't think there's any character that you can play that I can pop in Guilty Gear where you're like, oh god damn it, I don't want to play against that guy.
yeah. Sin can
Like,
get
I have
that
a
way,
few.
but
I'll say yes, that is true. Sin is your one character in Guilty Gear that you don't want to deal with. Sin, that's a frustration. That's a frustration weight. That's a strong one for you. The perception of a lack of skill in what the opponent, if the what the opponent's doing is too easy, that is the thing that can piss you off. In a
yes.
lot of fighting games.
I mean, it's not it's not even the fact that it's easy. It's the perception of what the opponent is doing is low risk, high reward, specifically.
Yeah, which is part of what makes it easy.
Yeah.
But like for Guilty Gear, I don't think neither of us are the types of like everyone in Guilty Gear is dishonest except my characters. Like neither of us are like that with Guilty Gear. I only have like one or two characters myself in Guilty Gear. It's like, oh, I don't want to play against this guy. I don't like Leo. I'm not a big fan of Leo. You like playing Leo, and I'm fine with that. I'll play against your Leo, by all means. But Leo's a character that, like, I work to be a good soldier. I try to be a good boy and not bitch about Leo too much. But when I see that I'm going up against Leo, I go, oh, motherfucker. That's just how it is. The rest of the roster, I don't mind in any Guilty Gear game, but Leo is Leo.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it feels a little dirty for me because a lot of the problem with Leo is one of the only fighting game characters that will honestly test all three dimensions of your mix-up skill, your mix-up defense skill. Because Leo will test you high-low, he'll test you left-right, and he'll test you strike-throw.
Yeah.
There are very few characters in fighting games that will do all three. One of the only ones I can think of is a character I play. Because in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, I like Piccolo. I like Piccolo a lot.
I thought you were going to say Kanji.
Yeah. Kanji will do all three with one move.
Yes.
But, yeah, Piccolo. I love Piccolo in Fighter Z. Piccolo also is nasty in that way. He's not as nasty as Leo because he's not got a crazy stance and it's much slower, all the stuff that Piccolo does. But Piccolo is still a nasty character because he is still a character who, honest to God, has solid mix-ups on all three fronts. And that can make him a real pain in the ass to deal with. Whew.
But yeah, Is there any fighting game where both the fun and the frustration is high for me? Shit. For Honor. No.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's a good fucking pick. Yeah, that's... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a game where... And that's another game where it's like, yeah, when the frustrating things happen to the other guy, you're kind of just like, yeah, well, whatever, bud. Sorry, sucks to be on the receiving end of that. Because whenever you ledge kill somebody in For Honor, it's like, yeah, I ledge killed him. When you get ledge killed in For Honor, it's like, bullshit, I still had so much of my health left.
See, not for me, though. Like, generally for me, even in For Honor, it's consistent that, like, if a character is fun to play as, then I will not mind finding them as much. And if they're not fun to play as, then I will dislike them more.
Yeah, character judgment usually isn't so much of a problem with me for Honor. For Honor, it's ledging always feels bad when it happens. Also, ganking. Hate getting ganked in For Honor. Hate it.
See, for me, I'm just used to getting ganked. I'm more frustrated by the changes they made to Revenge than ganking itself. And then ledging, I'm just like, ledging to me is like getting ganked in Souls, where like it's just a part of the game. You know?
Oh God, yeah, I definitely made a mistake by having you play Dark Souls 2 first.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because my experience is that, and then also like you have to consider Neo, the Surge.
Oh God,
Lords of the Fallen.
The Surge, I have no experience with. Neo, Lords of the Fallen, I honestly don't remember playing it. Neo, yeah, Neo's pretty gank heavy.
Yep.
Neo's not just gank heavy, but all the enemies are like hyper aggressive, move very fast, and are just constantly swinging. Like your blocking and parry game has to be on point in Neo, because like otherwise get fucked, buddy.
Yeah, and I beat that game, not the DLC, but the base game, at least.
Yeah. I'll give Neo 2 a whirl at some point.
I gave Neo 2 a whirl. It was more Neo, and I really don't want to play more Neo.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
Neo's like in an awkward. Yeah. Neo's such a bizarre game because it's honestly like, what if Dark Souls and Ninja Gaiden fucked? And I'm like, oh God, why?
See, the thing
is, for what reason?
The thing is that Neo has some interesting stuff that I liked, like the stances and shit, and the regaining stamina with the key system, I think they called it. Like that stuff is interesting. And then they have Diablo loot, and not even any Diablo loot, but bad Diablo loot. And I go, I don't want to play this game.
And the Diablo loot is probably the most distinctive reason why I bounce off of Neo every time, because like, as you put it, there's good Diablo loot and there's bad Diablo loot. Because good Diablo loot is this box has a shotgun in it. The shotgun makes it so that every time I get a successful parry, a fireball explodes out of my asshole.
See, I was gonna say
bounce around until it finds somebody and turns them into a zombie. Bad Diablo loot is -2 damage.
Yeah, I mean, good Diablo loot is there's this box. It has a shotgun in it. The shotgun fires smaller shotguns.
Yes.
Each
Like,
smaller shotgun also fires smaller shotguns. It is a frontal shotgun.
good Diablo loot is honestly like, okay, you picked a class. Congratulations. This is one of 6 playstyles. This may not seem that crazy. Don't worry about it. There is loot out there that is fundamentally game changing. And so your build is not just what class did I pick? Your build is, okay, are you using the shotgun from this guy that it shoots more shotguns? Or using the shotgun from that guy that will also like spawn a small galaxy that will rotate around you for the next hour, and it will eat any enemies nearby to build up a meter that once it builds up, you fire a Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Both are viable, but which one you taking, bud? Because you can't take both.
Yeah, and like I have never seen this, by the way. I've never well, for one, I have no real interest in Diablo myself. So I'm not gonna experience good Diablo loot in actual Diablo. And
Yeah.
and every time that I have to interact with Diablo loot, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, God, the preeminent example for like the game series that everybody loves that has so much Diablo loot. Well, not everybody loves it anymore. The more recent entries have been controversial, but highly relevant for a long time period, particularly a formative time period in both of our histories as gamers, is Borderlands. And Borderlands is kind of the king of here's a new shotgun -2 damage.
Yep.
And all the guns feel like crap.
And then here's a legendary gun. It actually does something different. Also, it doesn't scale with you. It's level 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to get rid of the gun that's super good because like it's like, oh well, it's way under leveled by now, so it's just not putting out the damage it used to. But I don't want to switch to this level 13 crap revolver with the little text description does literally nothing.
Yeah. See that's how I feel about every time there's there's like every time that games are like this sort of move doesn't work on this enemy to encourage using different moves. That's how I feel about it.
Oh boy.
Like you know, you can encourage switching out your playstyle with like Devil May Cry, where you have an incentive to it, and then like all you get for not doing it is less points, less money, but like
Yeah. A less impressive number at the end of the level, actually a less impressive letter.
yes. And then, like, that's a good enough incentive, in my opinion, to actually vary up your combos. Whereas if you go, all right, fucking Steve here, he's been eating hammers for an entire year. If you hit him with a hammer, it does minus 35% damage. Then,
Yeah.
then if I built my character around hammers, or if I just happen to have nothing but hammers on me right now, then it's gonna feel pretty bad when I have to fight him using hammers.
Yep.
And then if
Hope
it
you had a secondary weapon picked.
And then there's an even better version of that, where it's like, okay, the hammer is the only weapon that I like how it feels in the game.
Yep. Oh boy.
So yeah, what was I gonna say? I forget. Well, whatever. We're talking about uh, what were we talking about with game design stuff?
Well, we're talking about we kind of shifted back to the frustration fun scale
Ah,
thing
yeah,
for a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. But
What's high
before
fun
that,
and high frustration?
yeah.
Hmm. What is your answer to that? I guess while I think.
What fighting game do I consider particular high fun, high frustration? Ooh. Ooh. Injustice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, yeah, I'm picking Solomon Grundy or Swamp Thing or Joker, and I'm having a good time, and my opponent has picked Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Fuck. Other than that, let's see. God, well, Inevitably, somewhat by nature, Mugen.
Yeah. Because yeah, you're just gonna have the characters who have like better defined movesets, or they're just balanced differently.
Oh yeah. You can play any non-Guilty Gear character and be like, yeah, hey, I do this. And then someone picks a Guilty Gear character and it's like, oh, well, I lose.
Yeah.
They're just playing by different rules there.
Hmm. This is a very difficult question for me because I keep trying to think of like, all right, what fighting games are there that where like I dread fighting X amount of characters, and how is that
Yeah.
in relation to how much fun I derive from the game actually playing it myself?
Yeah.
And like the one with the most characters that I can think of where I'm just like I hate fighting this character is Tekken. But the games where I want to say like 80% of those characters show up are also the ones that I like less by default because they're the games where there's already a heat system and the fucking rage system and stuff like that.
Yeah. You hate a lot of the new guys. I knew you hated Miguel, but oh, Catalina. Catalina also. I know you hate her.
Yes.
You don't like Bob, right?
I don't mind Bob.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't like Alisa. Uh,
Oh yeah, Lisa sucks.
who else do I dislike? From the
I was about to say,
just in
you know,
general.
I like all the Tekken 6 newcomers. Now I remembered No 8 Lars and Elisa.
Yeah. Like from the old cast, the only characters that I dislike, like to the point of dreading, is just like Julia and Jack. And
Yeah,
then
Jack. I hate Jack. I think both of us are united though in not actually hating playing against Eddie.
yeah. I mean,
So
for
I
for
think
me,
both of us.
for me, a part of me not hating Eddie is that my mom means Christy. So like, adapt or die.
Yeah, that's one thing. I think for me, I found Eddie a nightmare the first 2 or 3 times I played against him when the AI was controlling him. And then just out of nowhere, I was just like, ah, fuck it. I'm just going to throw out a low kick because fuck it. Nothing's working against this guy. And my character just kicked Eddie straight in the fucking jaw and Eddie ate super shit and fell over like an asshole.
Yeah.
And it was immediate neuron response like, oh, okay, well, we figured it out. And like Eddie's not so predictable you can just beat everything with low kick, but you can beat a lot of things Eddie does with low kick.
Yes.
Like Eddie has subsequently become the character that even though I know everybody hates him, I now feel like I'm at the point where when I lose to Eddie, it no longer feels like, oh, bullshit. And it's like, yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah.
Because it was either A, I wasn't throwing out enough low kicks to punish his stuff that is low kickable, or alternatively, B, I kept throwing out low kick against an Eddie that wasn't doing usual Eddie nonsense and was just beating me the normal way a normal Tekken character would.
Yeah.
And in either situation, I was like, yeah, I deserve that.
I mean, the funniest one, I think, the funniest matchup that we have in Tekken in regards to all of this is you against anyone, like you with anyone against my Horang.
Yeah, Horong's a nightmare. Horong, I only don't like fighting against your Horong, though, because you are a master of Horong and you don't even really like him that much.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
Well, oh, did you used to be a Horong main?
No. Like I played Horang, like I forget which game it was, probably 5. Whatever, but there was a game where I spent a good amount of time with all of the characters, more or less. It was either 5 or Tech 2 or something like that. And so like I became all right with everyone, more or less. Horang is one of those characters where like I fucking hated Horang. I used to, and I'm still like, like he's okay. I think you'll laugh at this. Horang is the Blanca of Tekken. You do not shake Horang players' hands.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in my head because I've never hated playing against Horong except yours, and I've never really hated playing against Blanca's either. But both of them are characters that I see a lot of people go like, "Oh, these guys, these fucking scumbags."
Yeah. And like for me, like I would rank them similarly because like I don't like Blanca. I say this as someone who generally, when I have to play a charge character that isn't Guile, I play Blanca.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like I never play as Blanca or whatever, or like I actually genuinely have a blood feud against Blanca players. But for one, I think it's funny to continue the rivalry, and also just like
It's like the uni players playing in the, excuse me, not the uni, the multiplayers playing in the bathroom thing, right? And some multiplayers will go, no, you guys took the joke off the rails. The joke was multiplayers are so dedicated and love their game so much they'll play it literally anywhere, even the bathroom. And now you've turned it into a thing like we're losers who can only play in the bathroom. And it's like, sorry, bud, it's just too funny to say that you're losers who can only play in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I like playing Smash Brothers. It's never going to stop being funny calling Smash Brothers pedos.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the way it is, pal. Sorry. You got to kind of accept that sometimes the community just gets a certain rib in their head they think is fun, and they're just not going to drop it until this current generation of players gets so old they stop engaging in online discourse.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like
these youngins nowadays, they don't talk about saying don't shake a Blanca player's hand. That kind of went the way of the dodo.
True. I'm the last bastion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's also
what we're getting old.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming back, though. Because, like, I don't know if you've seen it. Well, not specifically the praise don't shake Blanca players' hands. But I don't know if you've seen it, but in response to Mena beating Daigo in the first 10, people went like, well, obviously, Daigo lost with Akuma because Akuma is worse than Blanca. And then...
Yeah! Oh, boy! I ain't heard that since CVS 2.
Yep. I mean, I told you, the games that I like, the Capcom fighting games that I really like, are games where Sagat and Blanca are unreasonably powerful. And here we are.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this before, but it's one thing that always cracked me up about comparing the two big Versus series with Capcom, is that in Marvel versus Capcom, historically, the Capcom characters don't come out looking very nice. Marvel 2, Strider's all right. Captain Commando's a good assist, but it's mostly Marvel characters that are top tier in that game. Marvel 3, yeah, it's a little bit more reasonable. How the fuck am I forgetting her name? Morrigan, there we go. Morrigan acquits herself quite well. But Marvel 3, more than anything, is notorious as the Jean Grey game, right?
Yeah.
Then you could go over to CVS, and it's like, nope, SNK, most of them get dumpstered. Bison, Sagat, Blanca, Cammy. If you ain't playing these guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think it's only Ayori that pokes into the upper tiers out of the SNK cast. Like,
Yamazaki.
That's hilarious. Oh, Yamazaki also acquits himself quite well. That's true.
Yes. They're the two. But yeah, so
the Capcom bouncer out front says you're in, then stops before it can get to like Rio or whatever, or Rugal.
Yeah. And so yeah, like the newest generation is realizing, hey, Blanca sucks. I hate Blanca, actually.
They had to have a little bit of a growth spurt at first of thinking like Honda was worse, because Honda does a lot of the same things. Andy's got a command grab that's like way better than Blanca's command grab. Hey. But they learned. In time, they learned.
But yeah, so like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, Horong. So the thing with Horong is that like you have to realize eventually that this also depends on the player, but generally speaking, 90% of online Horong players do not know what the fuck they're doing. And I don't mean that in a way of like, oh, they're bad at the game or whatever. No, genuinely, one of the playstyles with Horong is to press button and have a vague idea of what the button does.
Oh God, is he one of the notorious press 3 characters?
No, but he is like Horong is one of the characters where he's pretty good about pianoing keys. So you can get pretty far, and you can even get like pretty good with the character without knowing all of his normals or whatever, like without choosing your slice of his normals and attacks and what have you, and just committing that to memory. Now I'm at the point where I know what I'm doing, but for the most part, I mean, there's still some cracks in my game plan as well, where I just mesh kicks or whatever and just figure, he's gonna do something good, and usually it's right. Yeah. But generally speaking, there's like the thing with Hwoarang is that because he has 15 stances, only 12 less than Lei Wulong. Since he has 15,
Crazy thing, he's right. He's not even exaggerating.
since he has 15 stances, all you need to know with Hwoarang is, all right, these are the moves that I like from this stance, and then here's how I go into this stance, and it's very by player as well, which is why like people complain about Tekken having 5 million moves. I like Tekken having 5 million moves because it means that I can go into crane stance from this move, whereas another Hwoarang player will go into crane stance from that move, whereas the third guy who is going into it naturally, from neutral.
Yeah.
Like I like it in Tekken and KOF when the characters have 5 million moves because that means there's more player expression because whatever move you think is ass, someone will figure out a way to make it work unless it's genuinely just like unusable.
Yeah.
And even if it is complete ass, there will be at least one guy out there who's gonna work it into a combo to style on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like the reason that I'm really good with Hwoarang is just basically this. It's I spent some time with him and I figured out my slice of his commands. So like if I can get into position to do my shit, then there's not a lot of chances for you to counter poke me or whatever. Conversely,
Yeah.
I used to be really good with Lei Wulong because I actually like Lei Wulong. Not anymore, mind you, I'm not good with him anymore. But there used to be a time
Yeah.
when I had a similar knowledge of him as I do Hwoarang. The problem is Lei Wulong is a thinking man's character. And you need to know what the fuck you're doing, whereas Hwoarang can get away with some meshing sometimes as a treat.
Yeah. Hwoarang, the only time back in the day when I would play a lot of Tekken Tag 2 with on the Xbox 360,
Yeah.
I tried to play everyone. I don't think I did successfully play everyone, but I tried to play everyone. My memory with Hwoarang was like, oh god, he's got 8,000 kicks and none of them look all that different. I'm just gonna hit buttons.
Yeah.
The one move of Hwoarang's I remember going like, oh, that's cool, and I did it a lot was the weird like grab that only works on players who are being juggled,
Uh,
where he like yeah, he like bounces them up in the air, and I forget what else he even did.
do you mean in the grab or in general?
In the grab, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. 'Cause I
Well,
think
Back to Sam
yeah,
had a very similar version of it, if memory serves.
I feel like I remember it might have been the same thing that you're talking about, but I do remember them having some sort of grab where they do like a very like quick kick and that puts you in a juggle state.
Yes.
But I don't know what the hell you even did with that because for my experience, you put them in a juggle state and there's so much recovery on it that you can't do anything else to follow it up.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few launchers on quite a few of the roster in Tag 2 that worked like that. Huh.
But yeah, the killer button with Hwoarang is while running 4.
Yeah, I do remember him having a lot of the stuff that he really wants to do from like full screen.
Yeah. I mean, it comes with a mix-up because while running 3 is an overhead that is very quick, and while running 4 is is an attack where he does a stinger with his leg, and if it hits you, then you get turned around.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember this. Yes.
So that's the basic mix-up with Hwoarang is if the opponent isn't in kicking distance, do this mix-up. If the opponent gets this wrong, they die. I was gonna say with the big frustration, big fun topic. I was gonna bring up Rivals of Vader, but that's a similar thing to Mugen. But the problem isn't that these characters are just inherently designed wrong. It's that they're balanced for this by different people with different ideas.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work that way.
Rivals has a unique frustration for you where it's like there are hundreds of characters and you don't like any of them. And that's going to be like, how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah. I mean, like the thing with Rivals is that like I like the same guy I like in I like the same guy in Rivals that I like in Smash, Fox, who's very basic.
Yeah.
And like I also play Wolf in Smash. I play Wolf more in the games that he's in, but there is no good Wolf for Rivals. And then there's Sora with 5 million fucking stances, which I like, but it's also like
Yeah.
very hard to set up. So. And then there's, I don't know, like 480 some other characters that I don't really feel.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But for the actual like properly, set up rosters. I don't know because it also really feels like it also really depends on you or the player. But sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes I wake up and I turn on a fighting game. I turn on Street Fighter 6, say, and I see Manon and I go, "Oh no, Manon." Other days, I mean, I just fucking I hate fighting Manon, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But like whenever I'm actually dreading fighting Manon, I'm not gonna have a fun time playing the game at all. So
Yeah.
and other times I see Manon and I go okay, and then it just happens and I have fun. I don't know. I guess Marvel 2, maybe, or Marvel 3.
Yeah.
I guess Marvel 3 more so because I'm more well versed in Marvel 3. But it's
Yeah.
like, all right, it's very feast or famine. You either do the combo or you get the combo done to you. Which is also partially why I prefer the way additions are to hyper fighters.
Yeah, it's definitely very different and very distinct feelings across those games. And Marvel goes a little bit more. Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue don't have so many moments like Marvel combos do. Oh, he's just doing reps now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. It can happen. I remember, like, not even in Strive. I'm not even gonna shit talk Strive here. I remember seeing Soul Combo in Xrd, where it's like, okay, you do all of this setup. You can do this move or this move or this move. All right, what do you do when you're here in the corner? Go into Fafnir, and then once Fafnir hits, do this normal and then jump cancel it, and then go into Fafnir. Congratulations, you are combo.
So, what was I was going to say? Hair in my mouth. Another thing that's a big difference between Marvel and Guilty Gear is block pressure.
Yeah.
Because Marvel is a very block pressure heavy game. Like Marvel's adjacent to like what else is there like a really block pressure heavy series? I would say Mortal Kombat's pretty block pressure heavy.
It can be, yeah. Virtual Fighter. I don't know.
Yeah, Virtua Fighter's pretty crazy with that. Oh God, Dead or Alive. Because
Yes.
Dead or Alive has a lot of stuff that is like extremely plus, and it's like use the hold system to deal with it. well, what if I'm scared, too scared to use the hold? What if I use the hold too early or too late?
Yeah. What if I don't know how to use the hold?
Yeah. What if I hold the hold?
Yeah. What if the hold holds me?
Oh, I want Tina to hold me, bro. On that note, we may that may be the peak right there. We may this FGA may be downhill from here if we continue any further.
All right.
And also, I am very fucking hungry.
Okay.
I do want to play some fighting games tomorrow, though.
All right. Well then, I suppose fighting games were then.
And will be again. Oh,